Yeah, a college friend of Meredith. Oh, fuck.
Yeah,
All right,
Polly.
3,
Yeah, all right.
2, 1. Welcome to Robot Rampage. My name is Joe.
I am Jack.
What's up? I'm AJ.
All right.
Sure.
All right. Well, we got a good one for you all.
Yeah. So are we doing the hard knocks, or we're just talking, just kind of easing into it?
Yeah, no, we should ease into it because the longer and longer I go without posting anything, the more I just want to sort of like put something at the beginning and then stream it all together.
Yeah, kind of do like one big
I'm gonna
super
post a 1 through 3 recap, and then I'll also do like them separately, and then all of them when I'm done.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good.
Because it's trying to take like very little extra work to just like drop those files together. So
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah, and it'd be kind of lame to drop episode 1 now. We got to do all of them at once.
For sure. Oh, do we want to do that? Do we want to just wait until 5?
To drop all of them, and then just do kind of like a full recap. Yeah.
A giant mega hard knocks recap.
Yeah, and then we could just spend the rest of the time kind of like putting it all together.
It's trying to be like 5 hours.
Yeah, and
we already have like 2 hours of hard knocks talk, and that's just me and Jack.
Hey, I've watched all 3 episodes of Hard Knocks so far.
Hell yeah!
Well, yeah. Let's talk about AJ's take on the first 2.
Yeah.
Wait, no. I said we weren't going to do Hard Knocks. Never mind. Shut up, AJ. Can we talk about roster cuts?
Yes.
Happened today.
Yeah.
Did anything significant happen for the Packers, AJ?
Yeah, we traded for Malik Willis because our backup quarterbacks are both terrible.
Oh yeah, I was into him when he was coming out.
Other than that, it wasn't like anything super major as of right now. No major extensions other than the Jordan Love one. Didn't like add anybody post the Xavier Worthy or whatever and Josh Jacobs.
Oh yeah.
Our only major cuts were Aaron Jones and Bakhtiari. So other than like the early season moves, we haven't really done much.
Yeah, I was looking for like either Velus Jones or Ian Wheeler for the Bears, the running back from the second episode. I was looking for either one of those to be like, because at some point, how many skill positions do we need? Skill position players do we need? We got a lot.
Isn't that Valence Jones guy also a returner?
Yeah, not a good one. Well, he is good when he doesn't fumble the ball, which he's done more than anybody in his first 2 years. So
yeah,
but
he also averages like 28 yards a return, so it's not like he has like the Cordero Patterson issue, where as long as the ball's in his hands, he's good. It's just getting him the ball that's keeping it there is rough.
I know that the 2022 season, and I mean we're not upset about this because like we got the first overall pick and everything, but the 2022 season he literally lost us 2 games.
Oh,
like 2 full games were lost on punt fumbles. So
yeah,
like
I did say that
clear momentum, 14-point swings right there. So
like I did say to Joe last week that like he reminds me of Gump. Like he's fast, and that's about it. Like you just gotta send him in the right direction, he'll be good. But otherwise, he's not. He's not a skilled player.
I mean, that was the same with like Cordero Patterson for the longest time, until somebody finally like.
I think we're throwing a little bit. Velus Jones and Cordero Patterson are not in the same discussion.
Well,
he's got the most return touchdowns ever.
Well, I'm not saying he's gonna be Cordero Patterson, but I'm just saying he's like similar issue, similar type of player. It's
Yeah,
you know
but
what I
I'm
mean. Like,
also Patterson for his first like 6 or 7 years, he was a competent like third receiver. He just switched to running back because he has vertical
well,
speed, but not a bunch of
his biggest
like
issue was
abilities to
drops.
move.
Like that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. Like his biggest issue was always dropping the ball, which it seems to be
maybe,
also what Valens Jones's biggest issue was, at
maybe,
least so far.
probably not.
Okay. Sorry for
Sorry.
having an accurately competent take on a Bears player. I'll
I
just
don't
go back
think
to
I
sipping.
don't think that
I'll go back to sipping my haterade and just hate on
yeah,
everybody.
I think Cordero Patterson one day will recognize the greatness that was Cordero Patterson and the fact that he's played competently well at like almost every position on offense at this point.
Yeah. I mean, he was a second team All
And
Pro
he's the
flex
best
player.
returner ever.
Yeah.
Besides Hester. I mean, Hester's the best returner ever, but like at least in terms of records, I think that Patterson has more overall touchdowns. I think Hester just has the kickoff one. Or maybe Patterson beat him. I think that might be the thing, is he took over for Hester.
That
How
could
about
be.
that? Hester made it. Also, did you guys see my fantasy team? I just changed it, so you probably didn't.
Oh no.
I have
You
not.
you you should both check it out. It's very, very good.
Like the name or the
All of it, just the overall. I didn't know this picture existed, and then the name because of the picture. It's all so good. It's all so good. I'm not even gonna say I'm gonna put the picture here because I'm not gonna edit any of this really.
yeah.
I'm just gonna string it together because I don't have the
Understandable.
time.
Yeah.
Um, but but do yourself a favor and look up Devin Hester butt cheeks. Everybody on
Oh
Google.
hell yeah.
All right. Let's see what we got here.
Oh my god. I saw the picture.
Mm-hmm.
Really is Devin Hester's butt cheeks.
And it's like full on. I've never seen it
It's
get that bad. Like that
yeah.
happens, but I've never seen it get that bad.
Like how does it get back up? You know? How do you do that casually? You have
What
to
if he
really
broke that tackle and then he was running like with his
yeah.
pants all the way down?
His like full ass out.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So if you did if you could pull like show full dipping falls and everything, do you feel like you get like an FCC fine like Janet Jackson did?
Maybe. I mean, I guess it depends. Do they have to make an assessment as to like whether you did it or someone else did it? Because I mean,
Well,
Janet
but
Jackson did
like,
get screwed because she didn't do it.
Yeah, she didn't do it.
Yeah,
It was either Justin Timberlake or the costume person.
yeah,
So like
let's be
I
real, it's
guess you gotta
definitely Justin Timberlake.
yeah. Especially now, I'm willing to put the blame on Justin
fuck
Timberlake.
that guy.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
God, this is gonna ruin the tour.
Yeah. um did you see the DUI thing with him?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then it was like this one cop from Connecticut that like all the rich people are like, oh, I fucking hate that guy.
Yeah.
He
That's what
always
I
pulls
loved
us
about it
over.
is he was like trying to I like without actually trying, he was like trying to like pull his celebrity and everything, and then the cop was
Yeah,
just like
no, wrong
did he
cop.
not recognize him? Was that the thing?
Yeah, he didn't recognize him because I think
That's
he's around
awesome.
like late 20s. I think he's around our age, and he's like, I
Yeah.
didn't know who this was.
That's so awesome. That's
Yeah,
actually
That is
so awesome.
awesome.
that is funny.
I love when yeah, people with influence try and use it and then it just doesn't work.
Yeah, and I love it
It,
when like a cop enforces like parking laws for rich people because it
oh yeah.
pisses them off, but it's also so like where you just have to tell them like, what? Can you not pay the money? Can you not follow the law? Like
Yeah,
you
they're like,
guys
Yeah.
oh,
basically set this shit up, so you guys got to
The,
pay for it.
the more you make, the more you're like entitled to not having to pay. And
Yes,
that's bullshit.
yeah,
and it's always hilarious because it's always something along the lines of like a $200 fine.
yeah. And then they end up like going to jail because they wouldn't shut up and kept like antagonizing the cops.
Oh,
Yeah.
Or like because they wouldn't just pay the speeding ticket, they
Yeah.
get breathalyzed.
Yeah.
And then they're like,
and it's like it's $200, dude. You could probably find that like in between your seats. Like it's easy. I don't get
Mhm.
it.
yeah, they like haven't had to pay like less than $200 for something in 6 years or some shit like that.
Yeah. God.
Like
I've
to
been
them,
thinking about that. Oh, sorry.
they're good.
No, I was going to transition. So if you want to.
You're in transition. Congrats.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
Finally going to be a boy.
Oh yeah.
Let's go.
A real boy.
Real boy.
No. Well, I mean, did you have a point, AJ? I know
No,
it's
I
hard
was
for you,
just
but did you have something you were getting to?
I was just gonna keep ragging on them.
Oh, okay. I want to talk about like, do you think half of all cops are like technically supervisors just to put up with the amount of people who ask to speak with their supervisor nowadays? Like,
Yeah.
it's or like, do you think they just go to their car and they put on a different hat or something and they're like,
Yeah.
"Hi, it's my supervisor." Like, it's so funny now that people know that that's like a right you have in police interactions, like everybody does it at some point, and then they're
Yeah.
also like name and badge number, and like that's something you should do for sure. But like,
Oh yeah.
if you should probably just know the laws and then like
Yeah.
educate the cop, and then if he's being unreasonable, then you go. But like, so many people are like, especially those entitled white people, are like, I want to speak to your supervisor, get him out here. Like, I love those videos of like, have you guys watched? There's like all this with body cams and FOIA requests now. There's all this body cam footage out there of police
Oh yeah.
interactions,
Oh yeah.
and some of it's so funny watching people like either the police officer like really screw up or the dude or person in question. It's like it's awesome.
Yeah. Like there are like videos that I see of like 14 or 15-year-olds and like fucking like Oshkosh shirts and like Cookie Monster hats that like know their shit about police procedure and are like, you can't do that. Like I know you can't do that. So
Yeah.
it's
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Oh
it's a wild time. And that it's all like videoed and on the internet is just it's wild.
yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
especially with like the sarcastic people on college campuses and stuff, where they're like, I saw a kid like it was like a cop in a traffic stop. Kid just walks right up to him and he's like, "Hey man, I got a couple questions." The cop's like, "Move along." He's like, "Nope. Your mission is to serve and protect. Therefore, you're going to serve me by answering my questions." Now,
Oh man.
like the unbridled confidence of youth is insane.
I don't know.
I love
And
it. Yeah.
especially with it, it's such like a shit-eating move, but they're directing that energy like at exactly the right people, you know, like the
Exactly.
people that kind of need that shit. But yeah, no, it's funny.
You guys hear that cicada screaming in the background in my
No.
Not
oh.
even a little
Well, I
bit.
guess this is good at like canceling out background noise. Just it's like it's not far from me and it's screaming.
Oh wow.
I didn't even know
I
they
wa-
were still alive.
Oh yeah, I mean there's like the seasonal ones that come every year, but they're
oh
just
yeah.
like I guess they're locusts or whatever, but they're basically the same.
Yeah.
And they make the noises and stuff and are annoying. But I watched a video about how the movie Robots radicalized our generation.
Oh, the
And
animated movie?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I don't remember
yeah.
any of it. So,
Me
what's it
neither.
about?
I was like, this is a hot take because I can't remember a single thing about it besides like the blue guy,
Yeah.
like the
I
main blue
remember
guy.
the "Hit Me Baby One More Time" part of their like big final fight, and that's it.
Okay, maybe that's ringing a bell. I remember also he at some point there's the guy who's like a founder of a company and he's like surfing on all this stuff at some point. I remember that. Um,
I feel
I
like it
also remember
occupies like
the upgrades people upgrades picture just because it was a meme for a while.
oh
mm,
yeah.
mm,
Like that, like robots occupies the same part of my brain that Meet the Robinsons is in.
Yes.
If you remember that movie,
Yes.
yeah.
Those were they even like Pixar, or are they just like full on different animation studios? Just
I think
those
they
get
just
weird sometimes.
are. They
Like
might be like
Touchstone Pictures,
DreamWorks, maybe.
DreamWorks, yeah, that would make
Maybe.
sense. But those get out of hand.
Yeah, I actually don't think
Um,
either of them are. They're both Disney, but neither of them are like Pixar or anything.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I might remember the ending a little better. Does the main guy, does he like take over a company, and then now he makes it like a communist society instead of a capitalist society,
Oh,
basically, where like everybody's working to do their share, and then everybody gets a fair share of the take or whatever.
And that definitely would not have been produced by Disney.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what
Actually, actually,
we gotta
Robots
do some
was
research.
yeah, Robots was 20th Century Fox, so it actually wasn't Disney.
Okay.
That makes more
So
sense.
there you go.
Got bought by Disney, so that makes
Yeah,
a
And you
lot
can
of
watch it
sense.
free
yeah,
on Tubi.
yeah,
You can tell the quality of a movie by if it's free on Tubi or not.
yeah.
Well, although that's true to a degree, I did watch a bunch of the Stanley Kubrick movies on
On Tubi.
Tubi.
Oh, nice.
Well, yeah, but
Well,
those suck.
yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude, Full Metal Jacket was awful.
Yeah, come on.
Oh yeah,
Eyes Wide
yeah.
Shut, no commentary at all.
Yeah. Well, you can
I've heard that
make a
one is
case against.
weird.
Yeah, you can make a case against Eyes Wide Shut. It's a weird movie, but
And I don't like. Isn't Clockwork Orange him? I hate that one.
oh yeah, that is
It
him.
is.
Like with a
Yeah,
passion, I hate that one.
damn. Do you hate it due to the content or the actual
I
like?
just like it. The sort of the like that sort of style of movie always just freaks me out.
Yeah, yeah. And it's a weird, like it's a very
The
fucked up
whole
book that it's based
all
on.
of it is very surreal.
Yeah, I can't do like. I like ambiguity. I think there should be more of it in storytelling, but I don't think it should go to like the level of, and then just the things you do know are just like horrible.
Yeah, yeah. Have you seen 2001: Space Odyssey?
That's the one that everybody says that I definitely
Yeah.
should.
Yeah,
I mean,
Because the
I think you would definitely like get something out of it, but it's really like ambiguous. Like it's not very
yeah,
like if I ask you like what was that movie about, you'd be like,
yeah. So actually, yeah, let's just keep talking about stories. Last night I watched a video about The Giving Tree too, and
okay,
Oh,
that has an incredibly ambiguous, so much ambiguity baked in. It's like because at some point he includes the line that the tree was happy, but not really,
yeah,
I
and
mean,
like
it was like
the whole time it's like a mother tale, and like that the tree is happy just by giving, giving, giving. But then at some point he makes the point of being like the tree is happy, but not really, and then that turns it into like, okay, well, this is actually an abusive relationship story. Then,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah. It's almost like kind of a weird like kind of parent-esque like relation where they're happy but not really. Like day to day, it sucks, but
yeah, is
if
that
you ask them
is that the
about
thing you should take away from that book? Is that your parents are sort of miserable for having
them,
you?
yeah, that's what I got out of it.
Honestly,
And they
would be
bought me
surprised.
the book.
I was gonna say, I honestly maybe that's like their preemptive strike during
Yeah,
childhood. It's just like letting you know there's gonna be
yeah,
a lot of issues, and it's probably your fault, but you're never
yeah,
gonna
Yeah.
know because they're happy,
yeah.
but
I
not
spit
really.
out my food for one dinner, and then my mom gave me the Giving Tree. She's like, "You should read
Yeah.
this."
She's like, you'll find this very informative,
Yeah,
and you're like,
yeah,
Mom, you're gonna give me apples in a house?
yeah. That's like kind of like with robots. Like I had heard about. Have you guys watched "It's a Wonderful Life" or like heard of it? The classic Christmas movie.
Heard of it,
Also,
never
the
seen
further we get into this conversation, the more it's not going to fit with Hard Knocks.
Oh yeah, this
In
was a
front of Hard
little.
Knocks, we're
This
just
was
going to need to
warming
make
up.
this a separate podcast, which is fine.
Oh
it.
yeah.
I mean, the Bears are definitely an abusive relationship, but in
Yeah.
this case, the fans are the tree.
Yeah.
I was like, Jack, that's a really good point. And then I look at the clock and we're already like 20 something minutes in, and
Oh man.
we started with football and then immediately just got into like ambiguous storytelling and
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Gosh,
Yeah.
I
no,
finally
Jack,
have the time to
I
do
still
it
want
one
you to
time.
finish your point about robots.
Oh, but that where like robots. Give me a sec.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
yeah.
Are they eating your food?
Huh?
Are they eating your...
I ate the green beans. So the green beans never got a chance. They like them when they're fresh on the ground.
Mhm.
And we didn't put our little fence up.
Gotcha.
But I think it's the raccoons that are eating the tomato. That's committee, but like they're on the vine and been taken a bite out of it.
For sure.
Or they've been pulled off the vine and it's snap.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
they love that. Yeah, they would.
For sure.
Or a groundhog. Groundhogs do it too.
Mm.
Look at spider webs around the house like it's Halloween.
All right. I think
Sorry, my dad.
we're back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. What's up? What's up, Dad?
Not much. He
Wagwan,
he
Dad.
said that he'd be willing to come on the pod.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah.
At some point we'd love that. This is Meredith's mom.
Hey, Meredith's mom.
Hello.
MM.
Mother's milk. What?
Oh, but the point I was going to make about robots, that you said that it was like kind of a communist message in it, kind of at the end, where that was like, I don't know if either of you have seen It's a Wonderful Life, but it's like classic Christmas movie, that very nice message, but it was called out and banned in the late 40s for being too communist, because it's about like this guy basically like taking the money from the big bank and then like distributing it to the people. It's like, and the American government's like, no, we're not having any of that. But it's still just, but now it's like seen as a classic, like so wholesome and so, but I don't know. People weren't ready for the truth though.
No, and Meredith and I talked about just like the amount of stories that sort of had those like, well, we were growing up, the amount of stories that sort of had those like secret rebellious messages attached to it, and like just like morals over like selfishness and like all these different things. And I feel like kids media is even getting too capitalized itself nowadays. Like there's just not a place to like tell those stories even anymore.
Yeah.
That are like, one day you're gonna be like, life is fucked up and it could be better, but you just have to watch a movie and wish it was that way.
Yeah. I mean, it
I
doesn't
also-
seem like the kids are missing the communist message though. Plenty of communists still coming out.
Yeah, like I didn't remember it at all. So
Oh yeah.
They're also getting rid of like ambiguous villains where like they're actually semi-relatable, and now they're just like very plain and basic. And like, what? Guess I'm a bad guy because I'm a bad guy.
Yeah.
But like, you don't get guys like the Hunchback of Notre Dame dude who's like, I'm just doing what God says, but I'm feeling some type of way about this woman, and I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Like I fucking hate like Dark Lords. If there's any of that shit in stories, I'm like instantly like, I don't care. Like if something's meant to be the personification of evil, like it doesn't. I don't know. I just think it's stupid.
No, I get you. So you don't like Star Wars though?
I do think it's kind of lazy in its storytelling a little bit. It's
That's
cool.
Dude, the
Everything else
lightsabers.
is cool. Yeah, everything else is
lightsabers.
cool. Yeah, but the story.
That's literally, if they didn't have lightsabers, I bet I wouldn't have liked it as a kid. That was like the only thing I even thought about when I thought of Star Wars, was just lightsabers.
Yeah,
Fair.
and that was like that does remind me of an old like George Lucas quote where someone asked him because it was released during the 70s, and someone asked him like about like how it draws parallel to like the Vietnam War, and he said like, "Oh yeah, the alliance or the rebels are the Vietnamese, and we're the big bad empire." Like that was his whole point in writing the story. So it's like, all right,
That
yeah,
that feels good.
yeah.
Feels good. And then but then who's Luke Skywalker?
Um, Jane Fonda, I
Okay,
think. So
okay.
If Luke
You said
Skywalker
any
is
no,
name,
that's
so
Jane
I'll take it.
Fonda. Wait a
yeah.
minute. Who,
Jane Fonda's like an old actress, but she was known for I
no,
think going to
For
Vietnam.
Newsroom, her role in those TV show Newsroom on HBO, written by Aaron Sorkin.
She's in the newsroom.
Yeah, barely.
Oh,
bruh. I was
Sorry.
gonna say, isn't she the one who inspired the one guy to assassinate the president?
no, that was Jodie Foster.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's right. That's
Yeah.
yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Very cool
Yeah.
though. Very cool thing to be like to be the reason somebody wanted to kill the president.
I know.
Yeah.
Especially since I think she's lesbian. So like, and it was a
Oh,
guy that
that's even
shot it
cooler.
for
That's
her.
even cooler.
Yeah. So it's like whatever. It's like a gay guy shooting a president for me. It's like, dude, I'm not even gay, and you still did it.
Yeah, you're like guy. Like, come on.
God damn.
Yeah, I am very flattered,
Yeah, I am very flattered.
but
But you
But
could have approached this a different way. In other words, I'm not gay, so don't do that.
yeah, and I think
yeah.
Jodie
I mean,
Foster was like 15 at the time. Like it's not great.
have you ever had somebody make such a grand gesture though? I don't know.
No, no.
No. You know what?
Like the
That's a
grandest
fair
of
point.
gestures. Yeah,
Yeah, I feel like that could just change everything right there and then. Oh,
yeah.
did we lose AJ?
No,
No,
I'm
no,
here.
he's here.
Oh, your face is like on my screen at least it's like
Like frozen.
ugly.
Oh, don't worry, that's on mine too.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Have it so that
Unnecessary.
it's the whole frame.
Unnecessary.
Unnecessary.
One time while I was subbing, we were playing just like a name game or like going around the room. Oh, it was like it's like share one fact about yourself at like in like an advisory class or something,
Mhm.
and like your name and whatever. And we were going around, and one kid was just like, "Hi, my name is whatever, and I'm fat."
That's a
And
fun fact.
it's like that's awesome. That's like
That is
if
cool.
you're like yeah, and he wasn't he was fat. He was.
Yeah,
Mm.
but
Yeah,
I'm glad that we're living in the world where that's just a fun fact.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
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 yeah,
Like he knew exactly what he was doing.
yeah. That's nice.
That's a kid with a good self-esteem, or maybe not.
Maybe
Yeah.
not. Yeah,
Maybe I should have a conversation with him.
yeah,
Um. Well,
yeah. Should
well.
should we move on to Hard Knocks? Bears.
No, we should move on to um. Let me think. Hey, let
Okay.
me think, guys. Let me
All
think.
right.
We should
How do you
move
guys
on.
feel about the fact that Theo Vaughn in back-to-back podcasts had Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump?
Oh,
Yeah,
hell yeah.
kind of
I
wild.
love that.
Yeah,
Those
like
are
I
probably good
don't.
ones.
Yeah, like I don't get mad at Theo Vaughn. I'm very much like he's pure. You know, I think he's
I
just
don't.
interested to talk to
I'm
him.
not. A lot of the comedians nowadays, I'm not a. I'll say I'm not Theo Vaughn and like that whole movement. I'm not. Shane Gillis is the one that sort of breaks through for me, but the rest of them, I'm kind of like,
Yeah,
you're lame.
yeah. I just
Yeah,
feel like
I
it's
Sorry.
mean,
so like oversaturated. You know.
It's the podcast like going the podcast route. I think that annoys me so much.
Hmm.
Like Bert Kreischer and Tom Segura, like
Yeah,
they're
don't
annoying
like
as
it.
hell now. Like
Yeah,
absolute. They're annoying and both terrible. Like the more you
yeah,
like
see them, the more you genuinely hate them.
yeah. Like
yeah,
I used to like Tom like more so as comedy, but yeah, he seems to be a prick, kind of.
yeah.
Yeah.
And like
And I've really never liked Bert. Like his comedy
no,
with
I
him.
never thought he was funny at all.
No.
And he proved they like keep proving it. The more like
Yeah.
every time you hear them open their mouths, they're just not like I also I don't know if you guys are into him, but I don't like Andrew Santino.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he
Yeah.
can be funny, but he's just I don't listen to him
Yeah, he'll have
regular.
like a funny joke or two in like a 45-minute special that's all just terrible except for the one
Yeah.
joke or two.
Yeah. And he also just
And
like, and this is me saying him without knowing him at all, but he just seems like if I went up and tried to talk to him, he'd be an asshole. Like he gives
Yeah,
off that vibe.
I
100%.
agree.
Which I think is like the humor he tries to tap into, but at the same time, he doesn't do it in a well that's like genuinely funny. It's like you're just a dick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then like I'm trying to think of the other popular ones. Honestly, like of all the new people or newer people, like my favorite is probably Taylor Tomlinson.
Yeah. Yeah. She's
She's
funny.
hilarious.
She is very funny.
Okay,
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah. Like I do really
Yeah,
like
I would check her out. She's great.
yeah. Like yeah, really the only one I listen to like consistently is like Matt and Shane's like secret podcast. That one's just
Yeah,
very like consistently funny.
yeah,
But yeah, still not really gonna like defend them though, you know.
No.
yeah.
Some stuff they say that I'm like, I don't agree with that.
There's only a few people I still will. Like honestly, I I I think I couldn't love a comedian more than I love Bill Burr.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And
And
he's still going strong.
I don't always listen to, or I really haven't in a while, the Monday morning podcast or whatever, but he's like he had it since like 2007 or something. Like
Yeah.
he's even longer than Rogan or anybody. Like
hmm Yeah. Also
um,
very, very mean for you to refer to him as Rogaine. All right. That's mean.
Yeah.
And he's bald.
yeah. I
But
think it's just like the Rogan economy that has come out of comment like or like what is it? What am I thinking of? Yeah, I said economy. I'm reading my
yeah,
words
yeah,
back. I said economy.
yeah.
That comes with comedy. That's why I thought I said comedy twice.
Oh yeah.
Like it's like this should not be a monopolized medium. This should not be like you're trying to sell t-shirts and you're trying to like do all these different like at your live shows and stuff, but like at some point it just gets so annoying when you oversaturate the market with yourself. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
genuinely test stuff, genuinely try and figure stuff out. Mike Birbiglia, I love him so much. Like he
hmm
is great.
Yeah, I do like Mike Birbiglia.
Did
I
you
know.
see
I feel
that
like I
his new special where he literally is just testing material and like figuring it's like he's
oh
just putting on
no.
these shows where he's like sort of writing with the audience and like watching the audience and being like, oh, this one was good. I might keep this in. Like he's just literally like thinking out his sets as he's like doing
Yeah.
comedy. It's so great.
Because I love to watch like videos. If I like a new comic, like I want to see if there's videos of them like at like the Comedy Cellar or like testing out new material. Because that's always I
Yeah.
think when they're like when you could see like, oh, this guy's funny or this guy isn't funny. You know, some
Yeah. And
people
they just
can.
are like
Yeah.
a one-trick pony versus somebody who's genuinely funny.
Yeah.
Mhm. You know whose podcast is great actually?
Hmm.
Daniel Tosh's.
Oh, I feel like I watched enough. Yeah, he's good. Like I
I
forgot
was
how funny Daniel Tosh is.
exactly like his is a very niche style of humor. Like it's like just a gut punch. Like but it's
Yes.
not he's figured out to not be like problematic. Like he's figured out a good balance, I think, of like still being himself, but not being like,
Yeah, like it
yeah,
never
sure.
feels like mean spirited. It always kind of feels like he's just like, I I found this joke. It's a little off color, but it's funny,
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
usually is.
Yeah.
That's where
Um,
comedy should be. Like you should be allowed to make fun of things or people, but as long as like you can frame it in the way that no one can get offended by it because they know it's a joke,
Yes.
That's what it should
Hmm.
be, and not like the Andrew Santino type people who are just mean for the sake of it,
Yeah.
and then they go, "Oh, it's a joke. Like, why are you upset?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Anthony Jeselnik. I saw a clip of him recently that's like uh so many comedians are like defending themselves before they even like take a second to like think about their material, and like
Yeah.
so many of them are like just like immediately jumping to like, oh, you can't take a joke. It's like, no, it's clearly not funny to enough people to where like you should probably just figure out a way to tell that is universal. Because Anthony Jeselnik is like the king of
Yes.
that's the most horrible thing I've ever heard, but it is funny. Like,
Yeah. Oh
like
yeah.
Absolutely.
I can't like he's probably the best at it, honestly. Like all he
Mhm.
does is say horrible shit in his comedy,
Yeah.
and it's always funny. Like,
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
The
because I
whole
think he
shark
just.
party fiasco was
Oh
awesome.
my gosh.
oh yeah,
Great.
yeah, oh my god.
Shark party.
Ladies and
Oh my
gentlemen,
god.
it's time to have a shark party.
Oh my god.
And then his follow up to that whole thing where like his family reached out and they were very offended, and like all of Australia doesn't like us. And then they
Yeah.
do the shark party again. It's so great.
And he's like,
What
I'll
was
go
that?
to war with all 6 of those fuckers.
Yeah.
What was the what was his show called? The
Jeselnik
Jeselnik
Offensive.
Offensive? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. It's
Which
such
sounds
an
like an old
underrated
like
show,
which sounds like an old like World War One offensive. Like, oh,
for
the
sure.
Absolutely.
Jeselnik offensive relieved pressure on the Eastern Front, you know?
For
Absolutely.
sure. But
I would
that
love
was
it
like
if. Go
oh
ahead.
sorry. That was around the same time as like Nathan For You was just starting, I think, and like
Oh yeah.
Broad City, like that was like a good era in Drunk History, like that was a really good era
Yeah,
of Comedy Central.
it
That was
was.
probably
Oh
the
yeah.
last really good era of Comedy Central.
Yeah. I can't even think of
I feel like
like
somebody else
what
did.
what
I think
originals
they
do
had
they
Key
still
and
have?
Peele too.
Oh
And
Yeah,
yeah.
and it was tied.
Yeah.
I think Jeselnik was literally tied with the Amy Schumer show, which I didn't love, but
Yeah. It's like
still
the best
better
thing
than
that
some
Amy
things that come
Schumer.
out today. So
Yeah. It's definitely the best thing Amy Schumer's ever done. Like there are
yeah,
funny
absolutely.
sketches on that show.
I do miss that just like sitting down and just watching Comedy Central, and like different things would come on, or like they would just have those like random either like 30-minute stand-up sets or like those compilations of stand-up sets in between, or like
Mhm.
that era of TV. I'm gonna
Yeah, big sad.
oh well, I froze now.
Was Workaholics on Comedy Central?
Oh yeah, that was the same era
Yeah.
too.
Was it
Yeah.
the same? I feel like, I mean, it might have been a little after, but still around the same time.
They ended in
Yeah.
2018. Like they started in like 2011.
Wow.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
yeah.
Nice.
Their
That's
podcast
a good
also
era.
they do the podcast game right. They're so funny.
Oh, I've never checked out their podcast. I should.
I didn't even know they
It's,
had one. That's awesome.
it's the only one I like regularly listen to comedy wise nowadays.
Nice.
Mhm.
Oh,
All right,
did you guys ever watch that show Review on Comedy
oh yeah,
Central?
that same fucking
That's
era, same
it's
era,
the
and it's
same
so
era.
good.
It's so good.
Like people point to the Pancakes episode as like the best like
Yeah.
10 minutes of comedy or 12 minutes of comedy ever.
Yeah. Oh man.
It's
Yeah, that was
so
one of
good.
those ones I just like fell down a rabbit hole and just like, oh my God, I was like dying. When I like saw it, I watched every clip and
Yeah,
I
and
forget the dude's name
so many of these
from it.
shows are also like my relationship is like also the start of my love of YouTube, and like all the clips
Yes.
that would they would post on that. Like I would just like College Humor and Comedy Central, I just like binge their YouTube channels like as much as I could.
Yeah.
Yep,
You watch much
absolutely.
of like Dropout now? Like the new college?
I watch they post the shorts and stuff. I wanna one day like just get the because it's like your subscription service, right?
Yeah.
No, they do it on like YouTube, I know. I just watch
Oh,
like the make some noise game show
And
that
they do full episodes.
full episodes, and they post them all on YouTube. So
Okay, no, I'll
Oh,
definitely
okay.
check that out.
they're funny.
They're
They're super funny.
College humor is so good back in the day.
Mhm. Yeah.
Oh, big time.
Were you guys JT and Amir fans?
Oh yes. I think I watched it with you. I remember.
Oh yeah,
I don't
I
know
was
if
obsessed with JT and Amir. I watched every one a few times
Yeah.
because I
Um,
loved the way Amir acted. He was like literally just what he was counter whatever would be good in every situation. Like
yeah.
it's just like
Yeah.
the exact opposite of what would be like nice to deal with right now.
Yeah. And it would always start out with like you'd click on a video and be like, oh, it's like eggs or something. But then like it's about eggs for maybe the first 10 seconds and then just
Yeah,
kind of just sputters about. Like the
absolutely
yeah.
whole
derails.
like that Reddit episode where they just create like at the end it's just going dickless for Michael Chiklis.
Oh my God. And then that was like sort of the start of like Thomas Middleditch and Ben Schwartz. Like
Yeah.
they were in things, but that was like the start of them like really getting hype. Like that was around the time that I'm not saying that that was what did it, but I'm saying like that was
Mhm.
like that era where they were just getting into, and now they're like improv legends.
Yeah. Oh, for
Mm.
sure.
And
Yeah.
if you ever watch the outtakes to some of those, they're so funny of like they're
Mhm.
literally just coming up with half of it on the spot. Especially Thomas, what is it? Penis Anthony Dublinier is Thomas Middleditch's character. And he gets upset when people call him Tony, not when people refer to his name Penis.
Ugh. Yeah, I forget what the because I remember watching the outtakes of that, and does he just scream like my name is Thomas Penis?
Yeah.
Booyah.
Yeah, and then every single one he like adds a name. He's like Thomas Penis, Anthony Dublinier, Coxworth, like just a bunch of random ass stuff just tagged on it. That was some of the best. And then
Yeah.
and Ben Schwartz's character was just like the same dude, but he was pretending to be a different profession every time. Like he was a
Yeah.
milkman, and then what else was he? He was like a HR guy. Like
Yeah.
man, I
I
need
should
to go
check
back
those
and
out
watch
again.
all of College Humor's stuff again.
Yeah,
Yep,
they're good.
absolutely.
Because
I had
we haven't even
watched
talked about Hardly Working.
yeah, hardly
True.
working. Like I
Those
watched
were
I
great.
just ran across do you remember those old videos of like the 6 girls you'll meet in college or like the 6 roommates you'll have in college or something?
Yep.
Those are like
Yeah.
incredibly well put together for like 2012 YouTube. Like
Oh
I
yeah.
was
True.
surprised,
Oh
but
yeah.
Especially like
yeah,
non-studio back, like they were all just kind of doing it their own.
yeah, yeah. It
Hmm.
was a I know when you could like sustain an entire company just off of a website and like just like produce original content. Yeah,
Yep.
it's wild.
I loved the main guy in all those too, Josh Rubin.
Oh
He's
yeah,
insanely funny.
yeah. And he's one of those guys that kind of has an impression for everything. Like you could
Exactly.
ask
That's
him
what
to
I
do
love about
anything.
him. It's like he also like his impressions are literally like just whatever he's coming up with on the spot too. Like
Yeah,
he does like literally he can mimic a door squeaking and like
yeah,
I love when he does the seagull and it's great. It's all great.
yeah. Oh yeah.
And then who else? I'm trying to think of other people.
On College Humor.
Sarah.
Who? Yes. Was she black hair?
Yeah, I she was like the
Okay.
one girl,
Okay. I know
and
what
they
you're
were
talking
all
about.
white.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Every time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Streeter.
Streeter. That's right. Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah. I feel like if I saw them, I'd be like, oh, that guy's from College Humor. I don't know
yeah.
your name, but
Actually, yeah. One of the Dan Gerwich. I remember his name because he's the guy that they'll randomly like when they say like your annoying neighbor on Last Week Tonight or like Your Annoying Coworker or anything, they just use a picture of Dan Gerwich, who's
Oh,
like a writer on Last Week Tonight.
yes. Oh, yeah. Also, I think the girl that you're talking about, the one girl on College Humor,
Yeah,
I think she
yeah.
co-created the other two, right?
Yes, I want.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's why I remember her too. It's just like I heard the name and I was like, what is that from? And I looked her up and I was like, oh my God, like
Yeah.
I have this whole other like deep connection because she was in Jake and Amir pretty often and Hardly
And
Working.
hardly working. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Love that. Were there any other series really? I feel like those were the two really long running ones.
Yeah. I think.
I mean, I remember the one offers like the no jeggings one,
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, the Google guy.
the Google
Google
guy.
guy, of
Yeah.
course.
Um. mhm.
Like Jack said, the like six so and so's you'd meet in X, Y, and Z. Like the
Yeah,
six girls you would date in college.
Mhm.
those were all really good. Yeah,
Oh, the
shout out to.
Batman series,
Oh
of
yeah.
course.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And then sort of only because those were so successful, I feel like he did those on his show, Pete Holmes.
Hmm.
And that's why the X-Men ones exist too. And I think those are so hilarious and the Mortal Kombat ones.
Yeah. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Because then it's those are great because it's not an opportunity for him to like improvise with another really funny person. Like
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
I still get the Pete Holmes Batman clips on Instagram all the time.
Yeah.
mm, mm. Yeah, those are really, really funny.
Mhm. Yeah. Like I looked up like the one Batman one that showed up for me was the one with Patton Oswalt as the Penguin, where he
Mm-hmm.
kills the henchman, and then
Yeah.
the Penguin's like, "Did you just kill that guy?" Batman's like, "No."
I get the one with the lasso all the time. He's like, I'm Bruce Wayne, but deep down, I'm another person. That's the real me.
Oh,
That's so good.
those are
I
good.
Have you guys seen Pete Holmes has a new special out. He sort of dipped away from the limelight for a while, but
Mm.
he has a funny like bit in his new special where he like says like I want a 20-inch dragon dildo. I want a 20-inch dragon dildo. And then he just keeps repeating it. I would like to have, and then he just says it a bunch of different ways. And then
Oh,
he's like, enjoy your Instagram ads, everybody. He like literally like, and then people said that
oh, nice.
it's like a meta thing. It's good.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Pete Holmes is always. Did you watch Crashing at all?
I
His show.
haven't. That's something I've always said I should watch.
Yeah, it is pretty good. It's not like it's about like basically him making it in stand up in New York, but it's very
Yeah.
good. It's
Yeah, and I know he has an interesting story about like being married really early and everything. So like
mhm.
I think isn't it about that too?
Yeah, where he was like married for a while and then got divorced, and he's just a very
Mm,
kind of pure Christian boy, like meeting people like Ari Lang, if you know who he is, and it's a very like kind of odd couple type dynamic, but it's good.
Um, have you guys seen sort of like going with that narrative? A lot of comedians actually make that type of movie or TV show where it's like
Yeah, they're not
loosely
creative.
based on their life. Like,
Yeah.
because
Oh, yeah.
Kumail Nanjiani, The Big Sick, have you seen that one?
Oh yeah,
No,
that's a
I have
great
not.
movie.
It's so good. It's really so
Yeah.
good.
Mhm.
Very real too, and like very,
Yeah,
very
but
funny.
that's actually like an interesting story, like
Yeah.
autobiographical, but it's actually interesting.
Yeah, I actually think I remember Kumail because he was on Harmontown for a while, and I listened to Harmontown like crazy.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
and he he said at some point that like he wouldn't have done it if somebody hadn't like talked him into it and like wrote an outline and it actually like made sense
Yeah.
and then he made it with his wife too, which was
Mhm.
but he cast a younger
Yeah.
version of her to play her, so.
Yeah. Which is
Mm.
funny.
I don't know if he did or not. I was probably more of an overall decision.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
have
is
you
his
ever?
wife an actress?
No, I don't think so.
No, she was a former therapist, and now they used to own the Meltdown Comedy Store together, and they have like a podcast together where they play video games. So she's like in the comedy ether, but she's not like an actor or a comedian.
Yeah, she's more
So,
so
I
known for
mean,
writing.
I was gonna say it could have just been due to that. Like,
Yeah, do you know the story of the Big Sick? Have you ever heard of it, AJ? So it's about like Kumail, and it's all like autobiographical. So this actually happened where Kumail starts dating this white girl, and then his parents are like not happy about it. Um, Basically trying to like arrange him with someone, and then
mm,
she becomes, I don't even know what she gets, some sort of like disease or
Hmm.
something like a serious disease, and they've only been seeing each other for like a month or two, and they have this kind of bad breakup, but he's like the one person that the hospital calls to like come by and like hang out with her, and then basically it's just her in a coma while he is there with her parents, just trying
mhm.
to like basically get on their good side. But it's just a very well written, very sweet movie.
Yeah,
Ray Romano plays the dad, which
yeah,
is
yeah, and
Oh,
the wife is pretty famous now too.
yeah,
Isn't she the Succession
Holly
woman? And
Holly Hunter, I think her name is.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, she's great. But
yeah.
there's a moment in it where it's like their first time they're like talking to each other, the parents and Kumail, and the first thing the dad says was like something along the lines of so what do you think about like 9/11? What do you think about it? And Kumail's like, oh, I mean, tragedy. I mean, we lost like 8 of our best guys.
I have seen that clip before.
Very funny.
Uh, um, and I think it's not that big a deal that he cast or whatever ended up her being, because a very good portion of the movie is just him getting to know her parents,
Yeah,
having
she's in a
never been
coma.
introduced to them by her. Like that,
Yeah,
it's like there's a very interesting, and they're all trying to like wrestle with this, and he is trying to decide if he does love her or not, because like he can't really make any progress with the relationship. So it's just like it's a really actually
yeah.
interesting thing. Same with like have you seen the Mike Birbiglia movie? Can't remember what it's called.
The improv one. Don't think twice.
No, no. He has like an actual like cinematic movie about his
Oh,
like sleepwalking disorder, and like he admits to
Sleepwalk
like
with
cheating
Me.
on his wife at some point. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
it gets so real and crazy, and like I didn't it's not even that funny. It's just like very well made,
Okay.
and
Like I had
about his
watched.
crazy sleepwalking shit, which is like he throws himself out of windows.
Oh wow!
Dang.
Holy shit!
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I had watched. Had either of you watched Baby Reindeer on Netflix or heard of it?
Nope. Baby reindeer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was like popular for a bit, but I'd like highly recommend it. It was like one of the best shows I've seen in a while, but it's rough.
Intense,
It's
menacing,
intense.
twisted.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, it's basically
What's
like an autobiographical story from this guy who's a stand-up comedian and then became this writer, and he wrote this play which became a series. But it's all based on this experience he had where he was stalked by like a female stalker for like
Mhm.
years. And
oh
I mean, it really gets into it. It's a tough series to watch sometimes, but yeah, it's like one of the best things I've seen in a while. Though.
It says
what
black comedy thriller drama. Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah,
okay. What is the guy's name?
Richard Gadd is his name. He's British,
Okay.
but
Josh
yeah,
Gad?
not Josh Gad.
Hey, 98%
God.
Rotten
Do you
Tomatoes,
want to know?
7.8 IMDb. Okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
it's good. I think it got like a lot of like Emmy nominations. It's great, but it is. I mean, it delves into some like of his past, and Yeah, it could be tough to watch, but it's good.
And
Mm.
And it's
right,
a
who
limited
else?
series, so
Who
only
else has
one
got cool
season.
TV shows? Or should we get into Hard Knocks?
Yeah, let's do that. Speaking of cool
No.
TV
Have you guys
shows,
seen Atlanta?
oh, I love Atlanta. That's like
I've
one of my favorites.
I've seen up
Oh yeah.
to season 3, I believe.
Yeah, I don't think I've actually watched season 4 either. That's the last one, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think I've
It
watched
just
season
took
four.
forever to come out.
Season
I
3 is the one where they're touring in Europe,
Yes,
and
I
then
did watch
I
that.
think there's one more.
Okay.
I worry about another. Is season 3 the one with what's his buddies, his like second main character's name?
Oh,
Ladarius or something?
Ladarius. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, just Darius, I think.
Darius,
I think
yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
Darius.
Yeah. He the one where he like goes to buy something and he's like in this crazy dude's mansion and he's got
That's the
Yeah.
that weird
second
mask on
season.
him. Second season? Oh, I might have not watched the
Yeah.
third one then either.
That's
Um
Teddy something.
that
Yeah,
I
Teddy
loved
Perkins.
all of it. And Darius is like one of my favorite characters in TV ever. But like
Yes.
that episode was like if this happens again, I don't know if I can keep watching this show even though I love it. Like
Yeah.
that's just so not what I want out of this show.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Yeah, no.
I know, and especially since like,
and it's his baby, so whatever, he can do what he wants. But
mhm. And especially since like the episode before that was Barbershop, which is like one of the funniest episodes of TV I've
Oh,
ever
yeah.
watched.
yeah,
Absolutely.
Oh my god. What's Bibby? The barber? He's
Yeah,
the most infuriating
cut my
person
hair,
ever.
baby.
Yeah.
And then he like goes to a regular barber who fucks up his hair, so he has to go back.
Yeah.
Netflix Vince Staples. That show is hilarious too.
Oh, I should check that out.
Vince
Oh,
Staples
man.
has a show now. That's awesome.
Yes, there's such a funny scene. Like whatever episodes it's in, you at least gotta look up the YouTube clip. It's like 4 or 5 minutes, and it's like a bank robbery happens at this like he's like trying to get a loan, and all these different like people are. It's basically like a high end bank where like mostly white people are around,
Mhm.
and he's like walking out, and the bank starts to get robbed.
Mhm.
And at some point, one of the robbers is like, they're like giving all these really harsh demands and stuff. He's like, "Hey, yo, Vince!" And then he like he takes off, and then he just like has this really like pleasant conversation, and like they're like just joking about like, well, yeah, the cops are gonna be on me after this, so I probably gotta get going. Like they're just like talking so casually about like this,
Oh, that's
like
funny.
while this bank robbery is happening, and like, he's like it's just great. I'm not gonna say anymore because I would ruin it, but
Yeah.
you
I
gotta
should
watch
check
it.
it out. It reminds me of like that scene in Atlanta where Paperboy gets robbed in the
Yes,
car.
that's what I was
And
thinking. That's what made me think of it.
Yeah.
My fault, bro. That's like that
My fault,
delivery
bro.
that delivery makes me laugh every time. Like just like the fact that he's doing it, but like like
He's like, I'm
he's
really
trying
sorry
to
about this, man.
apologize as he's like pointing a gun at him. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like he gets out of the car and then the dude is just slowly driving behind him with the gun still pointed at him, being like, "Yo, I'm really sorry, man."
Like, I had to do it, but I'm sorry, dude. Like, he's
Yeah,
like,
you
just
know, it's
go.
Robin season.
uh that's a really, really good show.
Yeah.
And most of the scenes with Darius are just like so captivating.
Yeah.
Like even if they're not funny, they're just like, what the hell is he doing?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
Lakeith
think
Steinfeld is awesome.
yes.
Mhm.
He's one
Yeah,
of my
I love
favorites.
him.
Yeah, like I think I remember that my dad had asked me about oh, give me something to watch. And I think I suggested Atlanta and that he watched the first season of it. And he was like, it's pretty good. It's like it's a
All
weird
right.
show.
Yeah.
Wow,
But
your
yeah.
dad's definitely way cooler than mine. I would have never recommended Atlanta.
Yeah.
Any of the comedies I watch, I wouldn't recommend. He liked Middle Edition Schwartz though.
Oh, nice.
I watched that with him, so maybe I should try more stuff.
Yeah, yeah. You never know.
I do think he would like Barry.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Especially, I would say like the first 2 seasons are like
Yeah,
strike a
that,
really good tone.
I watched a video about that, about how it's like it's the weirdest compliment to ever get a show that it slowly gets less and less fun to watch.
Yeah, but it's
And to the
also
point
like
where like you don't like watching it anymore in a lot of ways, but like it just draws you in still. Like you need to know what happens and like but like everybody's just evolving so much that you're like, who am I even rooting for anymore? Like
yeah.
it's insane.
Like it's
Oh,
really like I just think the writers of Barry are smart and they like are were very much like correctly assumed like, oh well this guy keeps killing people like this is like they instituted very like realistic like consequences for Barry. That it's like this
Yeah.
is not going to end well for him. Like just no way.
mhm.
Yeah, but that was the annoying thing I thought. I really enjoyed all the comedy of the first 2 seasons, but I did feel like he was just like he was killing and doing things way too publicly too often in California to ever like
I know.
actually be getting away with all this, like in
Yeah.
modern day.
Especially since
Yeah.
Um,
like first season he kills a police captain and then just
yeah,
like buries around the woods.
yeah, and then he's getting shot at like in out in public, and then just like talking to the guy who sniped at him, like
Yeah.
they're literally it just he said like he doesn't care at all about. Like I don't believe that where he killed Chris like actually wouldn't have
Hmm.
been that was too public to be killing somebody right there in broad
Yeah.
daylight. Like,
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
have you seen the
There's
show, AJ?
I've seen the first couple of episodes.
Okay, it's worth a watch for sure. It's like a really good show. I
yeah.
don't agree. I still think Breaking Bad is like the standard because a lot of people are like I at least I watched that video where it's like Breaking Bad could never do what Barry did. It's
Like
like
no, it did.
yeah, it did make you hate Walt, and then I also long ago and like I've like watched this video multiple times. It's just like making the point of like Walt is not redeemed at the end. He is a
No.
ghost husk of himself, just like he is a phantom version of himself doing whatever he can to like just set the world right
Hmm.
what however he can. He's not That's not Walter White redeeming himself. And the show I don't think ever tries to make you think it.
No.
Yeah,
No.
not even a
Like
little bit.
yeah. So I don't agree with the point that it's like oh they he just gets to be this badass in the end or whatever. No, like that is true and like the ending is perfect in a lot of ways.
Hmm.
Like it's just so cinematic and like like dramatic and
Yeah.
like ties up every like from literally the first season every sort of enemy he's come across that's still alive. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
enemy
Oh yeah.
potential loose end. It did a very good job not keeping a lot of like hanging fruit or questions going forward.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, have you seen Better Call Saul, AJ?
Hey, yes, I have.
Oh yeah. All
I
right.
I
So
still
Jack,
haven't watched
yeah,
all of it.
this
Yeah.
this is really pissing me off at this point. Like, I will say, Better Call Saul. There's a lot of plot points that like maybe not. It's not. It never gets to the level of Breaking Bad until like the fifth and sixth season, in my opinion.
Okay.
Like of like just like perfect amount of tension, perfect amount of like stakes at all times, like just perfect
Mhm.
building upon itself every
Yeah.
Yeah,
episode.
but I
Um,
also think that like it couldn't do that just because of like where it started narratively.
yeah, yeah.
So
Well, it
like you,
very clearly doesn't try to.
yeah,
Because like it's literally like the first 3 seasons are all about developing these characters and like just having them like there's hints at like very small immoralities and like there's like these lengths they'll go that are just like you, like clearly Mike Ehrmantraut is a way more moral person than he is in Breaking Bad
Oh
for like
yeah.
most of Better Call Saul.
Hmm.
yeah,
Um,
100%.
um, Jimmy McGill slash Saul Goodman is like
Hmm.
night and day. So it's like it does a really, really good job of like developing them and like setting the groundwork for then turning them into those characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it also,
And
like, I haven't watched the whole series, but I mean, just the way that they like play on how like Jimmy is so like under the shadow of Chuck, that he's
yeah,
always like kind of trying to be Chuck, but also kind of hates Chuck, and
Yeah,
it's
and
like a
like
very it just explains everything so well in terms
you
of like
can
how he
already
carries
see
himself.
like why he would, once he is successful, why he would turn himself into Saul Goodman and not like a
Yes.
respectable lawyer.
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
100%.
Um, but I was gonna say like the cinematography, and probably just because they learned all their lessons throughout Breaking Bad, is even better in a lot of
Hmm.
ways, in my opinion at least. And the way they use objects and the way they like frame scenes to just like make you look at this specific point, and like the way they use color, like it's just
Hmm.
it's all the just the lessons they learned on Breaking Bad evolved. Like
Yeah.
so like it's because it's the same people largely, and they're all incredibly talented and have only gained more skill.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
And there's such
I
a like there are like movies that are made like 250 million dollars that don't look as good as Breaking Bad did. Like
Oh
no,
yeah,
like in terms of like cinematography and just
the first
color and
season of Breaking Bad sometimes has like beautiful shots, even though it's like really grainy and ugly. Like they were trying even then to be like, no, we're gonna take our time and like
Mhm.
make really set the scene, like make you feel like you're there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will say it's one of the biggest travesties of award giving that Better Call Saul is the most Emmy nominations in history without a singular win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That seems like bullshit. Like I know that people were like,
There are so many amazing performances on that show.
mhm.
It's like Rhea Seehorn and Bob Odenkirk. Definitely at some one of those years they were the most talented people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
even if
yeah.
you do like side character with Mike or Lalo or Nacho,
Oh my
like
God, yeah.
Mhm.
like any one of the, or even the guy who played Howard Ham,
Oh yeah. Yeah, he was
Yeah.
like
great too.
any one of them could have easily won a best supporting anything,
Hmm.
Hmm.
and
And they
just
Yeah.
got
none of them
nominated.
did.
Mhm.
Yeah. And
I mean,
It's
the
so
last
disappointing. Sorry.
I was gonna say the last couple of years were just probably more due to the domination of Succession.
yeah, that's what I
But
was
like, you
gonna say.
can't tell me none of them deserved it in like the first 4 years, or that one of their performances didn't outweigh any other singular performance from something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And especially like once you've already won an Emmy for like a television performance, I don't think you need any more. Like
Yeah,
give
for
it
the
to someone
same
else that
show.
deserves one. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Um, you know, who
or like in the
cares?
case of
Mhm.
Squid Game, like how Squid Game cleaned up at the Emmys. When I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, it was good, but like, like it's so difficult for a show like Better Call Saul to be a prequel and completely invent two characters with that don't make it at the end, and yet still somehow make you feel the gravity of their situation the whole time.
Yeah.
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 In both Lalo and Nacho, like, because they're neither
Mhm.
of them is in Breaking Bad. You're like, all right, well, neither of them is surviving this at the end. So you're like, okay, cool. You could write off most of what they do. But at the same
Yeah.
time,
And
especially in Lalo's case, every
mhm.
single scene he's in, you feel the intense gravity of his presence.
Mhm. Yeah, and there are moments where, like, sort of the opposite, where you know a character is going to survive because they do exist in Breaking Bad, and you're still so worried for them and like their situation. Like,
Yeah.
um,
Absolutely.
Like
specifically, I think they do a really good job of including a love interest for Saul and like making it make a lot of sense and like very clearly they're a match for each other. Because it really makes you wonder the whole time, like, if she dies, then that makes so much sense that Saul is just like Jimmy died and now he's Saul. Like it made so much sense that like she's the part of him that's stuck, and especially with the actual finale, like that, like he
Yeah,
sort
the
of
fact that he just kind of owns
yeah.
up
Plug
to
your
his
ears, Jack.
crimes.
Plug your ears, Jack.
I know. I'm not listening.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, the fact that he just like owns up to everything he did after like being able to work them down from like 65 years to 3 in like a minimum security prison with ice cream every day.
Yeah, it's seriously so. It's like the perfect way to end and turn him back into Jimmy without it feeling forced or
Absolutely. And the fact
um
that apparently it's written in where she visits him once a year, either on his birthday or their anniversary, or what would be their anniversary or something,
wow.
and like sneaks him a cigarette once a year because like that was their whole thing was they take a break with each other to like share a cigarette.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all very poetic, and then the final shot, it's just like it has stuck with me for a while of like just the bang bang, and then just that he just disappears behind a wall. It's so great.
Yeah.
All right, Jack.
Hello.
So Hard Knocks.
Yes.
Is it time for
All
Hard
right. Let's
Knocks?
start.
Knocking
Yeah,
hard.
but you should watch all the shows we just talked about.
Yes.
Everyone.
A lot of good shows out
Yep.
there.
Including me, because I haven't watched at least half of them.
Yeah. Do you guys do
Same.
like one show at a time, or I'm like currently watching like 6 or 7 shows, just like alternatively.
Yeah, I go through 0 or 6.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I have
I'm in a
anything
0
besides Hard
phase right
Knocks
now.
right now.
Wait, what'd you say, Joe?
I don't think I have anything besides Hard Knocks right now, like TV show wise.
Yeah. I'm trying to watch trying to get through Friday Night Lights. That's a good
Okay.
show. I'm
Mhm.
just through like most of the first season, but that's a really good show. I would
Doesn't
recommend
that
it to
have
you guys.
Michael B. Jordan in it? Or am I misremembering something?
I think it maybe does later. I know that Jesse Plemons is in it in the first season. Yeah. Who
Yeah.
else is there?
The like new big bad villain of every
I
random
know.
thing you see.
And you see him, I think it
Also,
was
I
like
don't
one
think
of
we're
his
done.
first roles.
Sorry, no, keep going. Sorry,
Oh no, it was one of his first roles, so he wasn't fat yet. He was still just like a skinny 20-year-old.
I mean, he wasn't even fat in Breaking Bad.
Yeah, but he was
He
fat in
was,
El Camino.
yeah.
Wasn't he the kid in We Are the Millers?
No,
No, that's a
different guy.
different guy.
That guy's hot now.
Yeah, that
That
guy's
movie's
he's
good.
a Marvel superhero now.
Yeah. I forgot that he is actually popular.
Yeah,
He's still funny
Um,
as shit though.
yeah, he is good.
but we didn't talk about Succession, and that is also a really, really good show.
Yes.
I haven't seen
Oh
that
yeah.
one.
Oh,
I've like
It's
that's the best.
intentionally not watched it because of how pissed off I was that it like blocked Better Call Saul from winning anything.
Yeah,
But that's the thing is like you can get upset, but like Emmys and Oscars mean nothing. You buy them, you don't like win them. It's
that's
all a
true.
numbers game. It's all a publicity game. So,
I
Yeah,
mean, that's fair, but still aggravating.
oh
yeah,
for sure. Like
yeah.
like
But Succession is like,
The Revenant is the thing that Leonardo DiCaprio wins his first Oscar for. No, it's
I
because
know.
there was a fucking Oscar campaign around The Revenant. Like it was like
Yeah,
we are getting him an Oscar. That was like literally the talk of the that whole movie. Like he's had 80 better performances probably.
yeah.
He's
He should
not
have
No,
won
won
for
for
sure.
Wolf of
everything,
Wall
but
Street. To be honest
yeah,
with you.
Wolf of Wall Street for main actor, Django for supporting. Even
yeah.
Yeah, he
though
wasn't
it's
even
hard to beat,
nominated
I was about to
for
say it's hard to
Django.
beat Christoph Waltz because he did win it for Django.
I know. He also won it for
And he
Inglourious Bastards too.
Yeah, well,
he
I mean,
he
yeah,
was
Inglorious
really
Bastards
good.
is
But it's
awesome.
hard to argue. Yeah.
He was really good in the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood movie, I think, and he did win for that, right?
Leo?
Did he win or did he get nominated?
No, I think he might
Him
have
and
just got
Brad Pitt
nominated.
both
Brad
got
Pitt.
nominated.
Yeah, Brad Pitt won, actually.
Yeah, Brad
Did
Pitt.
he
That was
win the
his first.
Oscar?
Yeah, he won the
Yeah,
Oscar.
Did he?
and that's
Yeah,
crazy
I know
because
he won
Leo's performance
something.
is like so much better.
it is. Yeah.
Well,
It's not
yeah.
Brad Pitt at his best.
It's just more animated. I guess it's the character, but Brad Pitt can play that character pretty often too. He's
Oh,
not
yeah.
often animated.
Yeah.
Yep, he won 2020 Best Supporting Act. Damn.
Yeah.
Apparently, he's won because I guess you win an Oscar if you're in the Best Picture?
Yes, but he won it as like a producer because it was for 12 Years a Slave, and he was a
Yeah.
producer of that. So you do
Oh,
technically
okay.
win one, but it's
Hmm.
just for being like, hey, you got the film made. Good job.
Mm.
Which is maybe more important than almost any other role. 'Cause,
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
so funny that he's a producer and he's like one of the only good white people in the movie.
yes, he's
It's
like the
like
Yeah,
one
for
guy.
sure.
he produced like a very positive perception of a very popular movie. Like,
Yeah. It's like, have you
wow,
guys
there's
seen
like
Dances with Wolves?
I haven't.
Which one?
Dances with Wolves.
I have not.
It's good. It's Kevin Costner. He stars in it, but he also like directed it as well. I honestly loved it, but it's basically about him like meeting like a Lakota tribe and then like joining it. He's basically like the one good white guy in the entire movie. But
It's like
Oh
Tom
yeah, of
Cruise
course.
in The Last Samurai.
yeah, but I actually do
Yeah,
really like it. It's very much more so about like the Lakota than about him. Like it's not really a white savior movie in my opinion,
good.
but
Okay.
it's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't say 12 Years a Slave is like white savior, but Brad Pitt
No.
within it is a white savior movie.
Yes. He is literally the white savior. Doesn't he like go
Yes.
back to the States and hey, I'll get some guys to look into that for you. And then he does and he gets free.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he said like he like would deliver a letter for him or something, I think.
yeah. Yeah.
The movie was all right. I think it won Oscars for the wrong reason though.
Yeah. It's a great
I
movie.
mean,
I would never like watch it again though.
Yeah.
It's a
it's
tough watch.
There are better movies about that period of time too.
Hmm.
Oh, whoa, AJ, you're
what?
screwing everything up.
What did I do?
Did you just freeze again? I keep thinking you're gonna fall away forever, and I'm gonna miss
No, I
you.
don't. I mean, I don't think so. I miss you too, but I don't think I'm
No,
doing
I didn't say
anything
I missed you.
particularly.
I said I'm gonna miss you.
Uh,
All
I'm
right.
gonna miss you. No,
All right.
we should
Should we
talk
get into
about.
Hard Knocks?
Wait, I did think of something.
Okay.
I did think of something. Kevin Costner. Um, he had like. Why don't we talk about the Costner sons more often? He had like the late '80s to early '90s was like exclusively Kevin Costner and like family films, and he had like dramatic films along the way. Like that
Yeah.
dude is awesome. I never realized it. I was like
Yeah.
my perception of him was mostly informed by Draft Day because like a lot of the movies I'd seen with him in it before that were like as a kid, so I didn't care
Hmm.
about the actors. Um, but Draft Day is like he's just like a very crotchety old man and not good at his job, and
Yeah. Yeah. No, I
um,
honestly I agree. His run in like the late 80s, early 90s is like it was great. I mean, he's such like an everyman, but he was also like directing movies and doing like all kinds of different movies. And yeah, I really like Kevin Costner. Yeah.
yeah, I'm a fan. I gotta watch that Yellowstone show or whatever.
Oh yeah. You should watch that.
yeah, there's that movie coming out too, circa it.
Oh, the one that he made?
Yeah,
Yeah. I heard he
Hmm.
lost like a ton of money on that.
yeah, I'm sure. But somehow Sam Worthington is like in it, and he was like notorious for being hard to work with, and now I'm seeing him pop up again.
Might have fixed some stuff. Yeah. There you go.
Huh.
I'm like, good job, man. Good for
Yeah, you
you.
did it. Yeah.
Like you finally learned how to be agreeable in Hollywood and have a career.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just Well, I thought the other thing was that those Avatar movies are like that's like most of what you do if that's what you sign up for.
That's
Well,
true.
yeah, but
Yeah.
he was
Like
in
you
the
just sit
first
there in
one
the
and then disappeared from Hollywood until this last one came out, and now he's in that Costner movie, and he's in some
Yeah.
like made for Peacock movie that's coming out.
Yeah. Like I saw that the new M. Night Shyamalan movie that's coming out. It looks insane, but it stars Josh Hartnett in the lead
uh
role. Which do you know who Josh Hartnett is?
no.
His name's familiar, but I don't remember who he
Look
is.
him up. You probably recognize him. He was in like shoot. He was in like Black Hawk Down and Pearl Harbor. I
Oh.
know. He was also in
Oh.
He
Oppenheimer.
was in Oppenheimer, Pearl Harbor, something called Trap, which
Oh,
is the
okay.
M. Night movie you're talking about.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
that
but
that
he
movie looked cool.
yeah, it looks kind of
He's in
sweet.
30
But
Days of Night.
that's
Is he
always
the
the thing with
main
M. Night
guy?
Shyamalan movies is like I love the trailer.
Yeah. It's always like an idea where it's like, all right, I got to see this.
I gotta
Like
yeah,
this.
I gotta at least watch the 3-minute trailer of this.
Yeah.
Yep,
And then
absolutely.
I watched that movie Old. I think that was his last movie. An insane concept where you go to a beach that makes you old. But yeah, and then
Yeah.
I watch it. I'm like, that was stupid, but I still had fun. Like it's a wild. They're wild movies to watch.
The last M. Night movie that I genuinely was like, all right, that was pretty good was Split. But that was also
Yes.
hard carried by McAvoy.
Yeah, for sure.
Because like
Yeah.
then the one after that with Glass, where it was like him, Sam Jackson, and not Brad Pitt. What's his
Bruce
name?
Willis.
Yeah, Bruce Willis.
Yeah,
Like that one
What was
wasn't
left
as
of him?
that was
yeah.
bad.
Did
I
he die?
no,
I,
not
I
yet.
think he might
Not
have
technically.
actually.
No, yeah, I know that he has like I believe he was diagnosed with some kind of dementia, I believe,
Yeah, yeah.
which I
I don't
mean
think they
is rough.
I don't think they like use that wording, but it was essentially like his brain
Yeah,
is
like he can't work
de-progressing or
anymore,
whatever.
which sucks. I mean
De-progressing.
that
There's a better word for that.
yeah. I mean that honestly just seems like the worst way to go in my
I
opinion.
know, and it's like it makes just he was made fun of for the last like 5 years of his career for making all those like shitty like straight to TV movies and like
Hmm.
straight to DVD movies and like all these just weird $1 million checks
Yeah.
um and it turns out it's probably because his family was just putting him in front of a fucking camera. Like that's pretty sad actually.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, 100%. Especially because I mean, he wasn't a very nice or agreeable person when he was all together. But
Yeah.
even then, he doesn't deserve that.
No.
Yeah.
Like forcefully shilled so that way everyone can have a little extra dough when he passes is disgusting.
Yeah, and I bet that can't help, like being transported all over the place and uh, like being in all these stressful situations for a little while and being like
Yeah.
at these lines and stuff. Like there are better places to try and ease him into that.
Oh yeah.
Shout out Bruce Willis.
Yeah. Hell yeah, Bruce Willis. Another guy
Shout
who's
out Bruce
really
Willis.
has like an interesting career. Like he did Die Hard and Pulp Fiction, which is kind of
Yeah,
wild.
Yeah.
Die Hard is like I don't. It's not my favorite movie anymore, but it's like an essential movie for me. It's like
Yeah.
if I don't think me and Polly will ever break up, but if we were to, and if I like found a different person and they hadn't seen like Die Hard or Breaking Bad, I'd be like, sorry,
We
we'll
gotta
buckle
fix
up.
that.
Like, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but it's essential that you experience these with me,
Yeah.
because it's just so
100%.
good.
Mhm. Yeah, like it's probably
But
not my favorite action movie, but if someone was like, that is the best action movie ever made, I'd be like, fair. That's fair enough.
Like that, yeah, it's
yeah,
a valid opinion to have.
and
Yeah.
it's just like it's set a different standard, I think, just like
Hmm.
and to the point where it became a satire of itself, like literally
Yeah.
Die Hard 4.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
like I think there are a few that did it correctly, like the Bourne movies after, like there are a few that like capture those states the right way and like
Hmm.
just
Yeah.
made all these interesting like uh, objects and things be a pop like characters almost in this movie, you know, like
Yeah.
I will say Born Identity is probably still one of the coolest action movies I've seen.
I love that
Yeah.
movie.
Oh yeah.
I had that on PSP.
Oh,
I had like one of
they
those
made a game for
DVD
it.
discs that you can put into your PSP. I had that in
Oh.
Ghost Rider.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
One
Oh
is
yeah, Ghost Rider
significantly
1
better
and
than the
2.
other. Yeah.
It was awesome. And I
Yeah.
watched all those movies like probably 20 times, and I knew even then that Ghost Rider was a very shitty movie, but it's like, well, I can't sleep and I'm trying to watch something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
100%.
honestly can't blame you. Like I remember watching and loving all the Transformers movies when I was a kid.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
I went to the
Yeah.
theaters for like half of those movies.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I remember the that's because he's a pussy in the second one. That's like seriously one of the funniest, like the hardest I've ever laughed. And I literally I would not laugh at a single moment in Die Hard 2, but like or not Die Hard 2, Transformers 2.
Hmm.
Um, but like back in the day, like I could not have laughed harder or for
Yes.
longer. Like it was just it's so weird to think that like that was good to me and
I
right.
know.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
when it came out, you were what, like 15?
No,
Yeah. I
no,
mean,
we were like it was
10?
2007, so 9,
Yeah.
Was
Yeah.
2007? Was
the
I s-
first one.
well, yeah, but you were talking about the second one.
The second one came out pretty soon after too. They had a run of every 2 years, I think.
2009. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, we were like 10
Um,
Yep,
years old.
2009. So yeah.
yeah,
Dude,
so
you remember those like
I was probably still in elementary school, but Mrs. Williams took me,
yeah. That I
and
remember in the second
that's the
movie
vague
there
enough
was
last name to say.
yeah. But that I remember in the second movie there's like two robots that are just like racial stereotypes of
Yeah,
like is it like Mexican dudes is it meant to
no
be?
black dudes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
But yeah.
that's literally that's what I was thinking, and then like I thought those dudes were so funny. Like as
Yeah.
an
I
11
remember
year
as
old,
a kid
that
being
shit
like,
was
"Man,
hilarious.
Oh
those
yeah,
guys are great."
100%.
And I
These
guess that
guys
makes
are
sense.
insanely funny.
In hindsight, it made sense because like knowing what we all know about Michael Bay now, it's like yeah, he was just making stuff for 11-year-olds.
Yep. Oh
Yep,
yeah.
100%.
Uh, man, oh man. All
Man, oh
right,
man.
Hard Knocks.
Yeah, let's
I
do it.
guess it's hard time to knock hard.
I don't know if I'm ready.
You're not.
Did you watch the episode?
Uh, yeah, I did.
Okay. All right. I took
Yeah.
very minimal notes about 5 minutes before the episode started. So,
Okay.
um, yeah, we could talk about the Bears got two new pickups. At least this happened after the Hard Knocks episode, but they picked up Darrell Taylor from the Seahawks, who's like a pass
Oh yeah.
rusher, and then Chris Williams from the Browns, who's a defensive tackle.
I'm excited about Daryl Taylor.
Yeah, yeah, he
I'm
looks
excited
good.
about that dude. I think they're getting a bunch of like athletic dudes, and they're hoping that that's going to be enough on the defensive line.
Yeah, it's mostly just for depth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He's because like now they got DeMarcus Walker's like he was before Montez Sweat. He was like our best pass rusher, and he's like more of a slow power guy.
Mhm.
The three guys that they're bringing like Austin Booker, Montez Sweat, and Daryl Taylor are like speed off the edge, athleticism, like beat you in multiple ways type guys. So
Yeah,
I'm
for
excited to
sure.
just like watch the Bears pass rush again.
Hmm. Yeah,
And I know they tried to get Matthew Judah on, but they apparently
Yeah.
couldn't figure out his contract in time before Atlanta swooped in.
Yeah. Well, I saw a report. I don't know like why exactly. I didn't like see if there was a reason attached to it or not, but that he like actively chose Atlanta.
Yeah.
okay.
I still
Um,
don't think he's gotten a new contract either.
yeah. Yeah, no, I want to look and see where he's from. He's late in his career and like I don't think I don't think you're picking Atlanta over Chicago right now if you're just going based off of like wanting to win a Super Bowl. And he already has a
Yeah.
Super Bowl, so he might just be like, I just want to live close to home.
Yeah, true.
Well, there's that, and he's like, I think Atlanta has probably pretty good cap space. So if the team is competitive in like 2 years, he still could get paid a good amount of money.
Hmm.
No, he's from Baton Rouge,
Yeah, that's not far.
Louisiana. No, not that far. Kind of on the other side of the South, though.
Yeah. I mean, he would, I guess he would have to pick the Saints or like a Texas team.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
again, Atlanta could just be kind of, just want to go to Atlanta.
Yeah, connecting flights.
Yeah.
I mean, their
Um,
stadium is one of like the dopest in the NFL.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
mm, that is very true. I love, and I'm glad that the Bears are planning on not doing a retractable roof because I do fear that it's going to end up falling on taxpayers in some way or another, and that
Yeah.
sucks now that we're adults, and that's going to
Hmm.
be our tax dollars.
Yeah.
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 But this is our first time really dealing with that because I was always like, even as a teenager, I was like, hell yeah, like new stadium, that's so cool. Even in college a little bit, I was like, new stadium. Now I'm like, not in my fucking city.
I know.
You're not
And I
taking
feel
a
like
dime.
yeah. And I feel like I found out because I used to do debate in high school, and we had a topic one month that was basically asking like, should stadiums be subsidized, like by the government? And yeah, and it was the first time that I was like, wait, we pay for the stadiums? I thought the teams paid for them. They make billions of dollars. But
Yeah,
Yeah, they're worth
yeah,
billions of dollars. Why is this coming out of our pocket?
yeah, like
Especially
the
with how
owner,
expensive tickets and shit are.
yeah,
yeah,
like not even just the teams are worth billions of dollars. The owner is worth billions of dollars, and he's the dude asking for it. So it's like, come on, you got the money. Like you can,
yeah. They're
yeah,
framing it like they're gonna the parts that we're gonna pay for are gonna be like good. All right. uh, I heard an echo for a second.
oh, okay.
One of you is being naughty.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Um,
me.
Ooh.
I am in a
uh,
hotel room. This is what they're for.
Oh
okay.
yeah,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Do what you want, man. Do what you want.
yeah.
I want to watch.
Exactly. Oh.
Are you sure that's from
Um,
IG? Oh yeah.
can we scroll back so I can see what the fuck I was talking about? I can't remember.
Maybe.
Something about taxpayers paying for stadiums.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
but
they're framing it like we're gonna pay for all like the public areas they build around this stadium. Like they're gonna build
yeah,
like parks and baseball parks and like they're
mhm,
gonna make out of the columns of Soldier Field, they're gonna leave them standing and like make some walkways and stuff out of that.
yeah,
Um, like I still don't really agree with it. Like it's like
yeah,
you're not a new park isn't worth it. Like I don't think most of Chicago is like we need a park that
yeah,
badly that we need to spend $900 million. Like
yeah. Especially since Grant Park is like right there, and it's like probably
exactly.
one of the best like public city parks in the country. So
Also, we have if you're going for a walk, I feel like Chicago, we have one of the best lakefronts. Like
yeah,
just like go for a walk along Lakeshore Drive. It's like that's really beautiful too. So
yeah.
Yeah.
And I know that it was the same thing when they built that new stadium in LA, like the SoFi Stadium. That not only is it just the stadium, but they're basically building like these whole districts that have like residential and commercial, and I mean they're like setting aside like a square mile for
yeah,
stadiums now, and it's
yeah.
just it's insane the amount of stuff they're adding to it.
But those dudes, they're at least aren't they paying for it completely? Or didn't they pay
Oh,
for it
are they?
completely? I think
Okay,
Stan
well, fair
Kroenke
enough.
paid for it completely.
Well, fair enough then.
I think so.
Yeah,
Let me look into that. Somebody else talk.
yeah. I'd love to
Uh,
go. Honestly, that like the SoFi Stadium looks beautiful.
true.
Yeah, that's my favorite one, I think.
Yeah.
I will say they had a lot going on with that punter.
Tory Taylor.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that was. I mean, he seems like the big question was really like because I know that we took him in the fourth round, which a lot of people were saying like do you take a punter in the fourth round? Is that really worth it? But I mean, at least everything from what I've seen from the guy, like dude's got a cannon for a foot. I mean, you
Yeah.
could
And
really,
apparently he's like really good at like kicking it in different ways to keep it either in or out of bounds depending on the situation.
yeah, and especially with like the Bears' history of like special teams, like ruining not only games but entire seasons for us. Like it's probably a good investment, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
And he's
Mhm.
like apparently at least a
Leading us all the way to the
competent
Super
holder.
Bowl.
Yeah,
Devin Hester
perhaps
got us. Devin Hester was our offense, my man.
that's true.
Yeah.
That is true. Yeah. We either have the worst or the best, apparently.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Um, update Sam Kroenke. Not only is was it completely paid for by him, but it's the most expensive NFL stadium ever.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, he put almost $5 billion into it.
Sheesh. And I wonder
Yeah,
how much
Damn.
of like the revenue he gets from it, like personally.
I bet that's probably a part of it. Is they
I would
I
guess so.
it's very multi-purpose it seems, and also they house two NFL teams.
Yeah.
Like
I
I mean,
to
mean,
that
gonna
does
plus,
seem like kind of like fair is fair. Like if you pay for it, I don't mind you getting a lot of the revenue from it.
yeah, you
yeah.
still got to pay some taxes, but
Oh yeah.
Plus
especially
with
California.
SoFi, didn't Taylor Swift do like 2 weeks worth of concerts that sold out every single time in
I bet.
SoFi?
That's
I
wild.
bet.
Like he had to have gotten like a big chunk of that change, you know.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
you
like if
wouldn't do
Taylor,
that if it wasn't an investment.
Yeah.
yeah, like if Taylor Swift generated over $1 billion for her own pocket just for that tour, like
Yeah.
I mean that week alone, the dude had to recoup at least like $300 million worth of like that $5 billion
Yes.
he put into it.
Oh
Not
yeah.
not even to mention like the Rams winning the Super Bowl 2 years ago, so like they're also going crazy. The
Yeah.
initial hype of like the Justin Herbert era in the Chargers.
Hmm. And that like SoFi is such like a premium destination now to hold the Super Bowl. That like it's
Yeah.
either that or Allegiance or like the one in Miami are like the three that I could think of that are like the obvious picks.
See that would be scary because like if Miami were to actually have a half decent playoff run,
Hmm.
because obviously they cannot function as a unit in inclement weather.
Yes.
No.
So like
In
my
Buffalo,
like
Kansas City, that's gonna happen.
Yes.
so yeah, exactly. So like if they somehow secure the 1 seed, they're gonna be
Uh-uh.
the scariest team in the playoffs.
But
Yes.
also they start hot under Mike McDaniels. They've started like lights out, insanely good offense and everything. They're like record breaking for the first 8 games of the season, and then they fall off quite a bit. So
Yeah.
I think they probably I don't think they would beat the Chiefs even in their own stadium, at least last year.
Mhm. Yeah.
Like with how Patrick Mahomes plays in the clutch and like just the fact that that whole team seems to figure out how to turn it on in the playoffs. Like
Yeah. It's almost like Miami has like all the puzzle pieces, but they just haven't like put it all together yet.
it's
You know?
almost like Tua isn't he's very accurate, but he doesn't have a strong enough arm or isn't stable enough to actually be a serviceable NFL quarterback.
Yeah. That's true.
And he has the best weapons in the league to do so.
Hmm. Yeah.
True.
I hate that like we've turned the narrative on and a little bit Jalen Hurts. Like when you put super teams around people, they're not like exponentially better quarterbacks because of it. Like which is sort of the
No.
perception on them both. Um
Well, but then that argument is always going to get holes poked into it just because of what the Niners have been doing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think Brock Purdy is also like sort of the opposite, where they're doing it with this like seventh round dude. It's like, but like they've had the same team mostly, and Jimmy Garoppolo wasn't consistent. He was consistent for that year, but not overall consistent. Trey
Hmm.
Lance didn't look great. Like it's a good
Yeah,
system, but you need the really, really smart guy to run it too. And I think they just lucked out that he has the brain and the body for it.
Yeah.
Um, so like I think he's sort of people discredit him, not even because like he's a Pro Bowler and all that, whatever. But
Hmm.
um, I think like that's sort of the nuance of the conversation is like none of these guys are in the same class as Patrick Mahomes and
Hmm.
Josh Allen and Lamar and Herbert
Yeah.
and Burrow.
I will
Yeah.
say Lamar's MVP was fluky
Oh
last
yeah, no,
year.
this
Yeah.
this this was not. It was a weird year to like pick an MVP. I think it should have been Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah. I
I
agree.
wholeheartedly agree.
I think that would have made the most sense, especially given how that team played and like what his addition has done. Like it's
Yeah.
just they're an insanely efficient offense,
Hmm.
Yeah, and he had
especially
like I don't think it was at 1,000 season, but he had at least like 2,000 all-purpose yards,
Yeah.
yeah.
something close to 20 touchdowns. Like,
Hmm. And dude was just like, I mean, you could just watch him play and be like, oh, this dude's best guy in the field. I mean,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you
yeah,
100%.
would just make
yeah.
insane.
Because especially if you like vaguely know the idea of like how football should work, and then you're watching everybody move and stuff, you're like, oh my God, like he's
Yeah.
doing everything. Like all the skills that you're supposed to like juking and spinning and like getting out of the way, like that he's just so innate with all of that.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, yeah, no, I agree. And Lamar's one of my favorite players, and he is a top five quarterback right now for sure. But he's not.
Hmm.
Um,
Not
I don't
the
think he was
best.
the MVP last year. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again,
Uh,
yeah, like, I agree. Like, not to say he was bad or anything, but like,
no,
he wasn't even like the league leader in like the stats that everyone brings up when you bring up Lamar's like electric play style. Like, he had less rushing yards and touchdowns than Justin Fields last year.
hell
Hmm.
yeah, hell yeah,
Oh
and he
yeah.
missed 4 games.
Yeah.
That
True.
dude, I'm gonna ride so hard for. He's the best running quarterback in the entire league, no question.
Yeah. Yeah.
More than like, I mean,
He's got to figure out the other shit still, but he's the best running quarterback in the entire league, no question.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I hope
probably.
it works out for him. I hope he does well.
He's just yeah. I it's hard when you watch him in a different uniform, it's hard to justify things the same way. And like so far it hasn't looked super great. It's the same exact stuff. It's just like very inconsistent. It looks amazing and
Mhm.
there's so much potential in one play and then like the next 3 plays are maybe
Yeah.
not.
Then he'll
Yeah.
like miss a screen pass or something. It's like, all
Yeah.
right, come on. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the narrative was too quick to like put him in that box because I think like definitely Chicago did not support him the right way. Maybe he in this system like he's still figuring out how to function in like actually good offense.
Hmm.
But like I definitely it's just like holding the ball too long. He takes too many hits.
Yeah.
Like he's if he starts the season with the Steelers, he's gonna miss a game or two no matter what.
Yeah.
Um, it's just I love him so much still. Like he's probably besides Caleb now, he's probably my favorite quarterback.
Hmm.
But
Yeah. AJ, what do you personally think of Caleb Williams outside of any kind of bias or, you know,
yeah,
what do
are
you
you
think?
getting scared? Are you getting scared?
Um, I don't. I think it's reasonable to assume that Caleb Williams this year is going to end up like Jordan Love last year.
I agree.
Like,
I think
yeah.
it'll be a really hot start, and then teams will figure out how to play within that, and then he'll like look ugly for a minute. And then once he figures out like the consistency of it all, I agree. But I think he'll have like sort of like Jordan Love had splash plays almost every game. I think last year probably.
Yeah, no, so it like started off like first 3 games, I think we were like 2-1. He was
Mhm.
looking solid but streaky.
I thought he like threw for 300 passing yards in each one or something. Like there was something that was like really encouraging about his first 3 games, and then
Yeah, and like there was like a comeback win in one of them, so like people were like, "Oh, he can
oh yeah,
finish out games and stuff."
that fucking Saints game
That Saints game was
later.
the Saints game and the Raiders game were like the perfect encapsulator of first half of the season Jordan Love. Like down but not out, gets the dub versus the Saints out of like nowhere.
Yeah.
And then the Raiders game had every opportunity to win the game and just fucked himself every time.
Yeah.
Like threw it at a linebacker with like no one in the area for no reason, just for like the easiest pick of their careers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Kind
And it always
of
seems
level
like,
crap.
yeah,
Mhm.
like a true like great quarterback just develops over time. It's like
Yeah.
it's not exactly how they
Yeah.
start, it's how they finish.
CJ Stroud for half of the season last year, everybody was like, yeah, he's definitely better than Bryce Young, but he's like still a rookie. Like
Yeah.
literally for the first half of the season, it was not like, oh, he's an MVP candidate. He's insanely good. He's all that he had to figure it out too. I'm
Mm-hmm.
expecting there to be, but like the thing about Caleb is I'm expecting like teams to not know how to play him right off the bat. And I think that
Yeah.
and also we'll have enough like just like gimmicky things and random things and like things that they're maybe not expecting, like run plays with him wise. And
Mm-hmm.
um I think
He really
they'll get a few wins before they like experience the troubles.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was gonna say it looks like he's really good at the like play action rollout reads.
Yeah.
That's right
Yeah.
now seems to be his main bread and butter.
Yeah,
Which
you want to get him on the move for sure.
which, like you said, would breed some early season success when teams don't have a lot of tape on him.
Mhm.
Like one thing that will probably raise his early season floor as a pair compared to like Jordan Love is the fact that he has like all proven guys
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
versus Love trying to figure out who's his guys and who isn't.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if you're rolling out and your options are first year Dontavian Wicks, second year Romeo Dobbs, and like a half healthy Christian Watson, you're going to be significantly less confident than just sign one of the biggest extensions for a wide receiver in history, DJ Moore,
Yeah.
like a 9-time Pro Bowl or whatever it is in Keenan Allen,
Mm-hmm.
and like the second or third best receiver in last year's stacked receiver class in Roma Dunze,
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
also was working out with your quarterback the whole offseason before being drafted.
Yeah.
Mhm. I
Like it
believe he
was
was the second best and Malik was the first. Fuck
yeah.
Marvin Harrison Jr. He was just that
Damn.
was name cloud alone.
That's a spicy take.
That is an
Yeah.
interesting take,
I I
especially
I
because of how
I
dominant
expect
he was in
I do
college.
what? No, what? Oh, okay, so that's the thing is like I do watch like the highlight reels and stuff, but then I consider is like what are they actually doing? Like he did find zones and things a lot. He'll probably understand nuances and things, but he's not his speed is oversold for sure. He's not like this super quick guy. Like
Yeah.
and I think people are saying he's like an outside receiver. I think they're crazy if they don't play him in the slot. Like I think that will be he should be like Larry Fitzgerald had most of his success once he got moved to the slot. Like they should be comfortable doing that.
Yeah.
Um, but I bet he will want to be an outside receiver too. And I think Malik is just faster. Rome is just better contested. Like there's things that are he's good for college, but does that translate as well to the NFL? Like
Mhm.
It's just different. The NFL is just different. I think Brian Thomas Jr. is going to be insane. He's the other LSU guy.
Oh,
He might
okay.
be the best out of all of them.
I gotta look
He's
him up.
6'5" and he runs faster than any of them.
Holy shit!
Literally,
Yeah.
I
write him up.
legit thought it was Marvin Harrison at first when I pulled up the images of him.
Yeah. And also Kyler Murray and Daniel Jones. I think Caleb is probably the best, or at least has the most potential out of any of those situations.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence is pretty good.
I will say though, at least like if Kyler Murray shows up this year with like his head on his shoulders, Marvin Harrison's gonna be insane purely as like a volume monster, if nothing else.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Which like that alone would probably limit someone like Rome's potential for like he'll probably have a really good season, don't get me wrong. And
Mhm.
like with like his counterparts being DJ Moore and Keenan Allen, he's gonna find a lot of single coverage. He's probably gonna, make a lot of big plays just because he like beats a single guy who's like typically gonna be the third corner, the nickel corner or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
But Malik Nate with the thing that Malik Neighbors and Marvin Harrison have going for them is that neither of those teams have anyone else to throw the ball. So
Yeah.
at least like really
Yeah.
early in the season, they're gonna be monstrous.
Yeah.
Whereas
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
but like, are they gonna win you fantasy championships? Like they might win you the first half of the season, but like down the stretch when other teams are like, all right, screw it, we'll just throw our best guy and
Yeah.
a safety on that guy and hope for the best. Whereas like Rome will still get you like probably somewhere between like 4 and 7 catches,
Mhm.
60 to 100 yards, and like every once in a while maybe a touchdown.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
I
Hey,
think
can you turn that light on?
they'll be the
Out.
tale of two halves for each of those ones where
Yeah.
Can you turn the light on?
early season
Out, just-
O'Roy versus actual O'Roy conversation.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Did you see that catch that Roman made in the
It is?
preseason game? That Caleb did that. Oh my god.
I haven't.
That got me wet.
Texted you on how
Oh, I'm not looking at my phone. I'm sorry.
we go get something.
Yeah. Can you? I'm. You guys can keep going.
Ah. But yeah, and like another reason why I think that Caleb's gonna have a very Jordan Lovian first part of his season is because the Bengals were able to stifle him for a good portion of his snaps.
Mhm.
And like the Bengals realistically are like an offensive juggernaut with a scrappy defense.
Yeah.
So like and like Scrappy's hard to play against. I mean, Scrappy usually means like on their good days they're great, on their bad days they're rough, but like you can beat them.
Yeah.
So like I wonder how he'll look against like genuinely good defenses.
Yeah. That's because I looked up the Bears schedule as well. Like the first half of the schedule looks pretty easy, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Like the first 6 games are Titans, Texans, Colts, Rams, Panthers, and then Jaguars.
Okay.
Which is
So
not like
the
not
Titans and the Panthers should be like easy dubs.
yeah, they should be.
And then the other four are like more than definitely like toss ups that the Bears aren't out of.
Yeah. But I mean the Bears later on they play the Packers twice, they play the Vikings, they play the Lions twice. They played San Francisco later in the year.
Yeah.
I mean yeah, looks like it might start out pretty good, but I could see it taking a dip.
Yeah. Like we don't know how the Jaguars are going to look this year. Because like 2 years ago they were a playoff team. Last year they were terrible.
They're gonna be pretty good.
The Colts on paper are decent, but they always find ways to shoot themselves in the foot.
Yeah.
I mean, the Texans are legitimately going to be a hard game, so like that'll be a good game to watch to kind of gauge how Caleb's going to do this year.
And I saw that that's Sunday Night Football as well. Bears versus Texans. So prime time, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one. I'm excited for that one.
Because also, like, the Bears' defense is, like, soft revamped. Like, it looks, it's like a lot of the same guys, but it's also, like, you know, you got a couple of new additions. So it'll be very interesting to see how they handle the foresee. Like, I mean, we don't know how it's going to look necessarily because it looks like Stephon Diggs is already a locker room problem for the Texans.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, on paper, that offense is crazy.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not as crazy as the Bears, but
Yeah.
Yeah, probably not, honestly. On paper.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll just have to see. So
oh yeah, thank you.
I also don't know who the Texans. Oh, they have Joe Mixon at running back now.
oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about that. AJ, are you comfortable with the running back situation right now for the Packers?
I wouldn't say comfortable, but I'm not like hyperly worried.
Who's the main running back that the Packers have?
Josh Jacobs.
Oh, okay.
So,
And
like
he had
I think our floor is probably close to the same as last year's, but our ceiling is probably a little bit higher just because Jacobs is proven to be more durable than Aaron Jones.
Mm-hmm.
So if Jacobs can get on like a hot streak like he did when he won the rushing title a couple of years ago, like we'll have like very largely a similar, if not better, rushing attack. Whereas like if he doesn't and he looks more like he did last year, we'll at least still have like a body there and not just AJ Dillon, who
Yeah.
great dude. Like every clip I see of him, he's like a super nice guy. But how are you so big and so inefficient at short yardage?
Yeah,
How?
it's
He's the
crazy.
most
I
inefficient short yardage back I've ever seen in my life.
I think it's partially because people know why they're bringing him out. He does catch the ball really well though, so maybe not. Isn't that like
Yeah,
the only thing he does well?
yeah, like literally, he's like, yeah, pretty much. It's like he has better hands than people expect, but he's not fast or elusive. So like, oh wow, he caught a 2 yard bubble screen instead of dropping it. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing I worry about is, well, I guess you could bring AJ out specifically for like, yeah, screens and things, but like Josh Jacobs is like notoriously the only guy who doesn't catch the ball.
Yeah, but like I've seen that. Yeah, I know. He is like some crazy stat about like receptions without a receiving touchdown or something.
Yeah. I think he might still not have a receiving touchdown. He's in elite
He
stripes
does
this
it.
year.
He's like he only needs like 15 catches or something to break the record of most receptions without a receiving touchdown.
And wasn't that that Patriots receiver a few years ago? Jacoby Myers or something?
I have no idea.
I think that was said pretty recently because he was like 1,000-yard receiver without a touchdown.
wow.
Vaguely reminds me of Melvin Gordon's like 900 rushing yards in his rookie season without scoring a touchdown.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Um, there's a rookie too for the
Yeah,
Packers.
yeah, we have a rookie running back, but like I haven't heard any major anything about him. Like I don't think he's going to be a huge contributor. And if
Hmm.
he is, he's probably just going to cut into the AJ Dillon role a little bit, like late game. Hopefully, he gets like a couple of like 7, 8 yard runs because people don't know what to expect with him back there. Is like the biggest role I foresee for him without any injuries. Knock on wood.
I agree. Um, because like they do have to justify that Josh Jacobs move, and I worry just thinking about the Packers the last few years. It's like great explosive plays by the receivers and consistent like third down conversions by Aaron Jones, like consistent moving the ball, like short yardage, and like he's just like good about getting those first downs and like keeping the chains moving, and
Yeah, he's
that's
one of
what I
for like yards per carry, he's been one of the most efficient running backs since joining the NFL.
yeah.
Yeah.
No,
But
he's
like,
awesome. Like he was besides Aaron Rodgers, like he was the Bears killer.
Yeah.
yeah, and like he also like the Vikings killer. Like so, like he'd have big games against those guys all the time, and
Mhm.
like also would have big games. It always seems like he had big games against like better opponents,
For sure. And it
which
always
is
looks, it's like the McCaffrey thing of always like looking easy. Like it's just like the hole is so natural to find and like it's just so fluid for him.
yeah, like he just ran like you're like, all right, there's like four people like I've very almost never seen him get stopped behind the line.
Hmm.
Like even on a run up the middle on a clear like 3rd and 2, he always got like 6 yards.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which I was always like, why do we have AJ Dillon then? Like if we could just give him the ball.
Yeah.
for sure.
But
Uh,
that's what terrifies me about him going to the Vikings. Because for whatever reason, every Packers player that goes to the Vikings shreds us every time.
but yeah. That's something about the NFC North is like, and like the Bears haven't been in it for a while, but like we definitely had our periods where we were the dominant. Like we beat up on each other.
Yeah,
Like, like they true. There's players that like Calvin Johnson had his best games against the NFC North too. Like it's
Yeah.
yeah.
insane.
Like Rodgers with his crazy shit, specifically against the Bears and Lions.
Yeah.
Or like
Stafford.
when Brett Favre left the Packers and came back to the Vikings, destroyed the Packers every time he played us.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Or like with you guys
There's
with David Montgomery going to the Lions, like
Yes.
absolutely
Yeah.
beats up on everybody.
Yeah.
yeah, but that's yeah. I mean, he did look pretty good, but he's why was he faster with the Lions? He was never that fast as a Bear at all. Like he was not fast.
I'm assuming it's
He was
probably they
shifty.
just have like a better O line, so like he can get a fuller head of steam without getting hit as fast.
Hmm.
Would
And
be
if
my
Dan
guess.
and if Dan Campbell told me to run faster, I would. Yep,
That's
go run
that's
And
true
faster,
too,
man.
probably.
Come
if
on, man.
Dan Campbell told me to run faster, I would be afraid to find out if I couldn't.
Yes. Come on,
So
man.
AJ, yeah, that's a good point. You didn't watch the Dan Campbell Hard Knocks?
No.
Oh, that's
Oh,
I would
dude,
recommend it, dude. It made me
it
like,
was great.
dude, I love Dan Campbell now. Like
Yeah, yeah.
I would
No,
let that
every
man
time I
reinvent the
see him,
wheel.
I'm like, yeah, this guy is like what I expect of, and like he's what like growing up you would assume every football coach is.
Yes.
Exactly. You meet a like a youth football coach, like, and you're like, oh yeah, this is like what the NFLs are just the extremes of this. But no,
Yeah,
that's just like weird dudes that like want to coach football to kids.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
And like now they're just all hot young dudes who are like who could be like own a business or they're
Mhm.
head coaches, you know.
Yeah.
yeah.
Besides Dan Campbell.
I know. That that dude lives and breathes football. Well, was he a tight end? Is that
Yeah,
like the
yeah,
position
he
he
caught a
was? Yeah.
touchdown. I think was he with the Patriots and the Lions?
I
Oh.
don't know. I just remember he was on the 0-16 Lions,
Yeah,
Mm.
which is
yeah,
why
he's awesome.
I think that adds to like his fire for like wanting the Lions to be so much better because he was there in the trough.
Yes.
I
And
worry
it's
for
dark as
them.
well.
I worry for them. That like Brandon Staley had one season like that, like that style of just like crazy play. Like they had a lot of like fourth down and like just risk it and go for it success last year, and that's not a sustainable way to play.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
they have
especially
a
when
lot of
like
talent.
especially
Sorry.
when like I feel like they haven't really replaced like realistically other. I mean, like yeah, you could do very well with just like Amon Ra and Sam Laporta, but I feel like volumetrically speaking, they didn't really replace like or get like solid complementary pieces to those two.
Yeah,
And like with how both of them play, especially Amon Ra, like that dude's like one rough hit to the leg away from like being sidelined for the year.
yeah, yeah. And he's a dude that like. Did you watch the receiver series too, AJ?
No.
Okay. Like I like him a lot. I like him a lot. I think it went to his head a little bit last year, the amount of yards he had. He's a slot receiver. Those yards count different.
Yeah.
That's you get way more over the middle looks. Like it's just a natural part of playing that inside place. It's much more comfortable for the quarterback to throw to you in like desperate situations. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's
It
he's
is the
got too much of
safety
a chip on
blanket
his shoulder
role.
because like if he was playing that DJ Moore role, like outside burning dudes and like doing all that shit, like Christian Watson, like there are certain dudes who just have like physical ability, and Amon
Mhm.
Ra does not have that. So if he was ever asked to do something that like other receivers could do, I think then he would maybe be 1,000 yard receiver, but
Mhm.
I think he's more just he's a Julian Edelman, which is like
Yeah, he
that's
reminds me a
incredibly
lot of
efficient.
Jarvis Landry.
Yeah, yeah, I very much so. And I love like and also like almost like personality wise and way to fire people up and everything. Like, but I wouldn't like Did you watch Jarvis Landry on Hard Knocks in 2017?
No.
Oh, dude, he gives one of the most like seriously one of the best speeches I've ever heard. It's just like it's just like if you don't practice, you're a bitch. Like he's just like laying it all out on the field and just like being like, I'm out here every day. I'm injured like fuck, but you if you're not playing. Like he's just like
Yeah.
he goes all out just being like, you need to fucking practice and you're a bitch if you don't practice. And it's just like it's so great. Like
Nice.
No, yeah,
I love it.
I loved him coming out of LSU. I always felt bad that like it seemed like he always played for teams right before they got good.
Yeah.
Like he was on the Dolphins for like 5 or 6 years, was like a consistent Pro Bowl level receiver. And then right before they got like actually genuinely like more than just like a fluky wild card spot competitive, then he got
Mhm.
traded to the Browns when the Browns were terrible. And he
Mhm.
was like the only good player on the Browns for a while. And then
Yeah.
I think he was a Saint or something for a little bit.
Yeah. And Jarvis
But
Landry,
like,
like he was a sorry.
no, you're good.
He was a top 20 receiver throughout those years where he was making the Pro Bowl and stuff for sure. But a lot of those yards were inflated by the role he played. Like
Yeah. No, yeah.
that's
He was exactly like what you were describing Amon Ra, where he's like, he's not the tallest, he's not the fastest, but he's got great hands and he's like shifty enough to play up the middle.
hmm
And that's just what he did.
hmm But also, yeah, you're right that also like one injury that makes him a step slower or like one thing that derails his career is probably like Jarvis fell off the planet pretty quickly.
Mhm.
Um
Yeah. And I think
like
his issue was hamstring problems.
yeah. Yeah, and it was like around 29, 30. So like it was towards the end, but like a lot of guys can make it at least like Keenan's 32,
Mhm.
I think.
Yeah.
And
And
we're
like,
talking about contract extensions. That freaks me out.
Yeah.
I mean, I think even Keenan would be willing to admit he's probably not going to get another like top 10 receiver contract, but like he's definitely going to get at least one more solid payday before he
Yeah.
like becomes another one of those like veteran guys who just like bounces around to a couple of teams on like 1 year, $10 million contracts
Yeah,
until he
like
retires.
Julio.
Like Julio, like OBJ
Uh,
is doing right now.
Julio better be a first ballot Hall of Famer. I hope people don't
He
forget
should
about
be.
how fucking amazing he was.
In his prime, he was amazing.
Yeah,
I don't know if it'll be first ballot, but he's definitely gonna make it in.
Yeah.
I know. I do worry that like the last few years, the fact that he played like that's sort of like why Calvin Johnson made it in. It's just like he stopped like right when he knew he was gonna stop being good.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, but we all like to be fair though, he probably still had at least like 2 or 3 more seasons of at least 1,000 yards in the tank. But we were never gonna see the 16, 18, 2,000 yard Calvin Johnson ever again.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So Keenan, I've been saying that I think Keenan's going to play like a Travis Kelce type role. If this is like Mahomes, then like Keenan's going to be like slot over the middle, like close to the offensive line,
Yeah.
And I think he'll do a lot of work just inside. I think DJ and Rome are probably outside
Yeah.
when there's three.
hmm Yeah. Was there anything about the like Hard Knocks episode that jumped out at you guys? I know that we've been avoiding it.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
no, let's
we've
let's
like
let's finally break down the
we've
hard knocks
dipped
episode.
we've dipped in and out of it. Like we talked about the punter a little bit. We talked about the Matthew Judon stuff a little bit.
Yeah.
The
We
Bengals
could title this
game.
the context around episode 3. We don't talk about
Yeah,
the actual episode, but we talk a lot. a lot around it.
yeah. Just constant circular, like this spiral thing that you can never
Yeah.
quite find the center of.
Yeah. We're mapping it all out, but we haven't landed yet.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think really in terms of like players that they covered, the main two were Bajent, and then they covered Tory Taylor for a little bit.
yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, which I know me and AJ were talking a little bit before, like that a lot of questions about like Tory Taylor being so high up in the draft, but I mean, dude just seems great, like already.
yeah.
Um,
He's seems really good. I mean, he's from Australia, so he's like easy to market around.
oh yeah,
He seems like he's got like a little bit of a happy-go-lucky personality. Like he likes joking
mhm,
around with people and stuff.
yeah. And
that's
I've
true.
heard, let me see if I could find any kind of
Yeah.
evidence of this, but I heard that his wife was from Chicago.
Oh.
I do know
Yeah,
he like.
yeah, his wife's from Chicago.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
there you
No
go.
big deal.
There you go.
I did see that he turned down a reporter calling him the crocodile punter.
Yes,
Oh,
but
it's just a
He was
lot
definitely
of
like,
food.
kind of a good name. Like
yeah,
I
because
know
he was
that.
like, he's like, you guys can do better than that. Come on,
Dude,
like this
tacos.
is
Those are way less.
like
Can
that
they?
was low hanging fruit.
Yeah, fair enough.
I get it. I get it. Okay.
The trying to think of other Australian puns for punters.
The Dolphins had an Australian punter a few years ago.
I assume is it just because like did these guys do like rugby maybe or soccer?
Yeah, they said
Yeah.
Australian rules football.
Oh, okay.
There's like a champ that'll convert you into an American football player,
Oh,
a true football player.
Yeah, and I did see. I think he wasn't he the punter at Iowa or something.
yeah, yeah.
So
Mm.
you already know he was getting all the
Oh, it's
reps
actual beef too.
because Iowa notoriously for like the last 2 years cannot score points to save their life, but their defense has been so shut down.
Yeah,
So he's got so many reps.
yeah. Oh, for
So I'm
sure.
sure because like there was some crazy where it was like the defense had more points than the offense for parts of their season,
Oh, wow.
just from
That's crazy.
like scoop and scores, pick sixes, safeties, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So
Oh
like
my
that means
God.
he was doing. I mean, obviously the defense was doing an insane job, but that also means he was doing an insane job in like keeping them close enough to the opponent's end zone to where they can always be getting them points.
Yeah, dude. Okay, so last year he broke the NCAA record for most punting yards in a season. He got almost 4,500 punting yards in one season.
Again,
And how
goes
many is that? Like 12, 13 games? Or is that more?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
something like that.
Um,
great.
I think he'll probably break the passing record before Caleb Williams does.
Yeah, maybe. And I know that there was that whole like moment where I think did Caleb come up to Tori and said like you won't be punting much. Like
Yeah, he sent
glad
him
to
a
have you.
text after he got drafted.
Yeah,
Mhm.
And
glad to
that's
have
why
you.
in the episode, Corey, like in the middle of their the like how the Bears had like early 3-and-outs. He's like, "What happened, man? I thought you said there was going to be that many punts. Like, what's going on?"
Yeah.
And Caleb Williams was laughing. He was like, "We just wanted you to get the reps, man."
Yeah, get the practice too. Uh, yeah, and then Tyson Bagent. I mean, I think he looks good, like as a backup, but they did also highlight his dad for a little bit, who's
Yeah, they
a like
they're really
world
zeroing in
champion
on
arm
him.
wrestler. Yeah,
Yeah, I wasn't a super. I'm not a super big fan of him.
yeah,
Like he's
but
fine, and I get they're like doing it to generate a little bit extra viewership.
yeah. Like I'm sure they met his dad and they're like, "Oh, get a camera on this guy."
Well, yeah, I mean they did it last year when he was a rookie. They had like one of the analysts like try to arm wrestle him, and and so he's like, "All right, this is now my territory, so I'll take over from here while you try to work me down."
Yeah,
And he's
like
like, they call me Mr. Bajent, but you can call me Daddy, as he like beat him.
yeah, like he seems like the kind of guy that like is a world champion arm wrestler, but like if you met him, he would challenge you to arm wrestle. Like, no,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah,
Like, dude, I'm not in this world. Like
Yeah,
yeah,
it's like if John Jones came up to you, he was like, "Hey, do you want to fight right now?" And you're like, "No."
yeah. Seems like the kind of guy that would like just put his arm around you and like aggressively hug you, like meeting you for the first time, and you're like, dude,
yeah,
back off.
yeah.
But
His handshakes are a competition.
yes, but
100%.
but but yeah, and then Bears went undefeated in preseason. They've won all of their
Oh yeah,
games.
it
Uh,
matters.
yeah, it doesn't mean shit, but still could
It
be a good
does. No,
sign.
it does. The
Oh, does it?
Ravens always win in the preseason, and they're always a good team.
Hmm.
They're like the only team that like does that, and the Chiefs.
I wonder if that's like a. Maybe I'm thinking of baseball, where I thought it was kind of like a weird rule in baseball that the good teams do bad in preseason. But I don't know how that works. But I remember hearing that. But I
Hmm.
mean,
It's
good
typically
preseason.
because the good teams in baseball have like great starters but bad farm systems. So
Yeah.
like when you're playing your second and third, like in your prospects are getting playing time.
Hmm.
The prospects aren't as like talented as other teams' prospects. So
Yeah.
like so that it's usually like the middle of the park teams in like the preseason of baseball that
Yeah.
do the best because they usually have solid farm systems, but their veterans are okay because they were like retooling to like get the good farm system.
Yeah. For sure.
Unless you're like the fucking Dodgers, who are just always
Just
good top to bottom all the time because they don't care about the rules.
yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. What are your opinions on baseball in general? Like the whole no salary cap and like just the rich teams pay for everybody, and then like the poor teams gotta like find the good players that then get paid by the rich people.
It's aggravating, but I'm used to it because of soccer.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Soccer works the same way.
Stupid.
Yeah. Dumb.
I agree, and at least soccer's getting better about it because they have this thing now called FFP, which is financial fair play. So like you can only spend certain amounts of money on contracts based on like revenue generated, like players you sell
Mhm.
and stuff like that. So there's actually like a big firestorm coming down on Manchester City because they
Yeah.
were skirting around FFP for a long time by like not reporting player salaries and stuff like that.
Yeah. And I know
So
with
like
soccer, it's so much different because there's so many different leagues. There's like hundreds of teams. That
yeah, so like you couldn't really do like a straight salary cap in soccer, which is why FFP makes sense for them.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
like if you're one of the teams that generates so much money, it makes sense that you can buy a bunch of players, which
Yeah.
isn't fair. Which, as you would say, wouldn't be fair because then they just buy all the good players and always are good.
Yeah.
So at least in that regard, they at least have to like, all right, well, we can buy certain amounts of players or players for certain price tags because of FFP, unless we like sell some of our other players, which in other words, like might be better depth pieces or whatever.
Mhm.
So like something like that, I feel like should be in. I like it's also like with basketball, like how basketball doesn't have a salary cap; they just have a luxury tax too.
Yeah.
But
No, they
like
have a salary cap now.
I thought they just have a luxury cap or something where it's like
It works the same way. Like there's a certain amount you can give, and there's a certain amount you can spend overall.
okay. I
And
was
that's
gonna say
why
because like go ahead.
super teams are like formed normally around like two stars. Maybe you pay for or two of the stars, but then like a guy who's from the team who hasn't gotten paid yet.
Gotcha. Because I was gonna say like in basketball, it makes sense to get away with like a limited cap or a luxury tax just because you're only paying like 15 people.
Yeah.
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 It's not baseball where you have like 24 or whatever it is people on a roster
Yeah.
plus paying your whole minor league system of like some 100 200 players or whatever and staff and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like the
That's
new loopholes with deferred contracts and shit so that way they can still pay players crazy amounts now and then also later so that way they
Yeah.
could all play together at once is ludicrous, and they probably should institutionalize some form of cap.
You sound like
sorry.
such a zoomer right now, AJ. Institutionalize some kind of cap.
But yeah, yeah. But that's also because I'm a fan of like the smallest market team in baseball, basically. So,
Yeah.
but we're like generally competitive because our front office is insanely good at what they do. So,
Mhm. Wait,
What
which?
team?
Yeah.
the Milwaukee Brewers.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
What? They're not the
Yeah.
poorest.
It's not that they're the poorest; they're in the smallest market, the smallest media market.
Yeah.
But all that matters is your money.
Yeah, but if you can't generate the same amount of revenue as like a team that's worth less, but you're in a worse marketable area,
Yeah.
Mhm.
it is what it is.
Hmm. Yeah. White
But if
Sox
your
are.
owners are rich, they can pay whatever they want.
To be fair, our owner isn't even worth $1 billion, so I don't know how the hell he
Damn.
owns our team.
God damn.
Gotcha.
What a scrub.
He's worth like
And
800 million.
aren't the A's like by far the poorest?
No, they're just the worst.
Hmm. And they spend the least on their team, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's
I
just
think that.
because their owners are pieces of shit.
Yeah. It's
Hmm.
funny
It's
that
like
it
the
used to
same with the
be.
Reds.
It's funny that like the poorest team used to be the Astros like 10 years ago, but now they're like one of the best.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's just
And then
probably
teams are
because they
good.
found out they're in Texas, so they can like
Yes.
give people good contracts and not
Yeah,
have to
they're
pay
like-
taxes.
Yeah, they're like, wait, we're in Houston? Oh, wait.
Like,
We
wait
can
a
get
minute.
money. Yeah. It's like the
Mhm.
fourth biggest city.
Yeah, that, and then you add in the fact that like the taxes for players in Texas is no state income tax, so they're like,
Yeah.
well, fuck it, I may as well just go to Houston.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a hot take that I don't think it's fully true. I guess I'll attach it to two things. I think that we will, within our lifetimes, we will either see the downfall, the complete end of professional baseball or professional golf.
Yeah, I can see that. I don't see good.
I think it would happen to baseball before it happened to golf.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I used to think golf, but then it's had like a really weird resurgence recently. I don't know why everybody's golfing now.
Yeah.
I think it's because our generation found out that you can drink and not care about your score.
Yeah,
Yes.
drink in the morning and it's not like a brunch with the ladies.
And you're
Mhm.
still outside and shooting the
Mhm.
shit, and you can just kind of fuck around. Like, if you're just doing it with your friends, as long as you're like respectful of other people, you can just fuck around with each other.
Hmm.
Yeah, I do honestly think baseball is like the games are getting longer, the pitchers are getting like way too good. I feel like they gotta like change some stuff up.
Yeah,
They
they gotta
have been. They've
the
got the
balls
pitch
again.
clock. They've got.
Yeah, that's right.
They're gonna. They're talking about starting a thing where pitchers have to pitch a minimum of 6 innings if you're a starter,
Oh, okay.
which would generate more offense for teams without good starting rotations.
Hmm.
Which obviously would see some increase, but like a couple of years ago, they fucked with the balls so that way they would like people would hit more home runs.
Yeah,
Okay.
juice them
But like,
again.
but like that's what they're saying is like they want to find a middle ground between like the juice ball from like
Who gives a
2018,
fuck?
2019, and like where it is now. Because what's more exciting, like a bunch of people striking out and then happen to hit like 2 or 3 home runs, or like a team that scores 5 runs based on like getting steals, base hits, and eventually a home run.
For
Like they're trying.
non-baseball fans, probably a bunch of home runs.
Well, that's the thing though, is it's never gonna be like a bunch of them.
A lot of people who attend baseball games in person are not very big fans of baseball.
That's
I'm not
true.
a very big fan of baseball, and I look around and that's like the crowd at White Sox and Cubs games.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
yeah,
White
that's
Sox
also because the
tickets are like
Cubs and White Sox are terrible.
White Sox tickets
Yeah,
are
but
like you can get them
like
for like $15.
we will almost certainly see the death of like cable TV.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
Yeah.
and when that happens, these sports leagues are going to have to figure out how to fully transform into streaming service platforms. So, like,
Mhm.
They
are
already
enough
kind
people
of
going to
are
be
with
paying for
MLB
the
TV.
MLB streaming service? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I really
I'm,
don't see baseball in like wider culture anymore. Like it's just really
No.
it's just going away.
yeah, it's like you'll see it. I also say I feel like the baseball players are so much worse at being marketable than like any other sport.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're
Like
boring.
every time I see them in commercials, I'm like, except for maybe like Bryce Harper or
Mhm.
Mookie Betts,
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Fernando
like
Tatis. I like him.
Mhm.
yeah. So
I
like
think. I
other
don't know.
barring like a couple of outliers, they're all just so fucking boring.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. Otani is cool.
Oh, he's
Yeah,
cool.
he's cool, but like
Trout.
he doesn't. He's more so cool for what he does. Like anytime I've seen him in a commercial, I'm never like captivated
Yeah.
or like
He's
laughing
potentially
or something.
he's potentially a corporate criminal.
Potentially, yes.
In what way?
Well, I mean, I don't know if that he's like committing gambling and stuff. He's at least a criminal, and like
No,
also
the
there's shady stuff
gambling
with
was his interpreter.
uh-huh
Yeah,
$5 million.
but is
Uh-huh.
that just like what he said, or
Uh-huh.
was it
Uh-huh.
Well,
actually his
no,
interpreter?
so the way that the legal filings was broken down was that the interpreter was sports betting. And
Okay.
since the guy who was his bookie knew that he was like close to Shohei, like gave him a certain amount of like credit leashed out, knowing that he would be backed by Shohei.
Okay.
And they're saying that the reason that Shohei's bank account got tied to it at all was one of either Ipe being like the only person in the states who could like control his bank account because he was like the only person who like understand Japanese and English
Mhm.
and was also close friends with Shohei, so he was like helping take care of all that stuff.
Yeah.
But there's also the like it could have been that like Ipe told Shohei, "Hey, I'm in a crazy amount of debt right now," and like since they're really good friends, they were like,
Yeah.
"Oh, to Shohei, $5 million at least at this point in his life is like nothing."
He just signed the largest sports contract in history. So he's like,
Y-
"Hey,
Yeah.
I will give you
He
$5
won't
million."
see it for 10 years though.
Mm-hmm.
Most of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like getting paid some weird base salary of like
2 mil a year.
a couple mil a year, and then in 10 years it's going to 65 or some shit.
Yeah.
I do honestly think Shohei could be that guy to like, or guys like Shohei, because he reminds me of like people like Babe Ruth, who I mean could like almost do everything, and I mean he pitches,
Mm.
he hits, um yeah, he's kind of bringing this
Yeah,
like kind
Jack,
of
he could
old
be that
school.
guy. He could be the Michael Jordan of baseball. When have you ever tuned in to watch Shohei Ohtani play a game?
Never, absolutely
Yeah,
never.
me neither.
Yeah, but
You
everything
would
I
tune in to
hear
watch
is
Michael Jordan if he
crazy.
was the Michael Jordan of being Michael Jordan. Like
Yeah,
I don't think that's possible with baseball.
no, I really don't, because it's like everything with like basketball and football, all of like the big highlights are like explosive, like pure
Mm-hmm.
feats of athleticism. While with
Mm-hmm.
baseball, you got to like wait 3 minutes before you see someone do something even remotely athletic.
Exactly. And it's always the same exact thing for the most part. Like there's different things happen within that, but it's like the most like controlled I think of the like that you can't really call plays. I guess you can
Yeah,
change the way your outfield and like the way your infield is standing, but
mhm. Yeah,
you can't do a lot to change the format of the game or like innovate within that. Like I think
yeah,
we've really found the extent to what can be done on a baseball field, like more than any other
yeah,
sport.
yeah. Oh, absolutely. And then again, I mean, one of the
It's
biggest home
America's
run
pastime.
hitters of, yeah, I guess so. But one of
Then
the
again,
biggest home run hitters of all time, his name was Albert Pujols. He's gone now. You
He
know,
is gone now.
we need some Pujols back.
yeah, or
Bring
Barry Bonds or
Pujols.
somebody. We need
Yeah,
somebody who's hitting dingers every single year, like crazy. Like Aaron Judge, he was sold as that, and then he had like 4 years in a row where it didn't happen, and now it's
yeah,
happening for 2 years, and everybody's like, it's like he's not that
yeah.
good.
He's not that
I'm pretty
good.
sure. I don't pay attention. I don't know.
I know. I really don't. Yeah,
I think I've
like
heard my dad talk about it or something. Like,
yeah. Like I think me
Yeah,
and my dad looked at the White Sox roster like before the season started, and we were like, I don't know any of these people. Like
yeah,
I just don't pay attention.
and you won't. Like the White Sox
Yeah,
are notoriously bad.
like historically bad right now.
Tim
Yes.
Anderson though. I
Tim
like
Oh,
Tim.
do
Anderson
they still have
Tim
Tim Anderson?
Anderson left like a year or two ago.
I know.
And
Uh,
when he left, he was like the worst, literally the worst player in baseball, except for like two people.
I heard that, but it was there
yeah,
was extenuating circumstances and stuff. I heard too. Like he was going through some personal stuff, and
That I
Also, the
didn't
White
hear
Sox.
about. I only saw what was going on the field, and
It
his
might not
whole
have been
thing
good.
was his whole thing was hitting the ball, and he could no longer do that.
Yeah. Well, he was fast too, right? He was like the combo. He hit the ball and he'd run.
Wow, what a combo!
Wow.
Yeah, no, I just described baseball.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
you
sometimes
swing the
you have to
bat at the
stop in
ball.
between the running. You need to
Yeah,
stop at a certain
exactly.
point.
So yeah, sometimes you have to stop, or else you might get touched.
Yeah, or else they'll touch you and then you're out.
Yeah,
And you got to
you
go sit
can't.
on the bench with your friends again.
Yeah, and you can't run anymore
Yeah,
until like an hour later when it's your turn to try and hit the ball and run again.
yeah. And
And you
also,
might not.
there's a dude on the other side of the field going like this, telling you whether you should run or not. But these are all complex signals, and only one of them means run.
Yeah. Yeah. Huh.
Oh, I think Joe just told me to bunt.
Bunt.
What? Oh, yeah. No, I was thinking that we've spent way too much time talking about baseball.
Yes. Oh
Fair.
yeah. Fair enough.
Um, on this Hard Knocks recap.
Yes.
Yeah, this
Spent
Hard
about
Knocks
15
recap that
minutes
started
talking about.
2.5 hours ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
All
all
right.
right.
Well, okay, what else happened?
In the Hard Knocks episode.
No, in baseball, dummy.
Oh.
For the first time ever today, somebody played for both teams in one game.
How
Oh,
did that happen?
what was it actually talking about? I don't care.
Yeah.
Well, hey, you
Um,
asked, and I gave an actual
was it Will
answer.
Ferrell? Was it the Will Ferrell thing?
No.
Because that's not if it's not, then it's not the first person to ever do it.
Will Ferrell was in spring training. He didn't play for two teams in the same game. He
Oh,
played for a
same game.
bunch of
Yeah,
he played for a bunch of different teams in the same day.
yeah, that's true. But you don't think he switched? He should have knocked out both teams if he was bothering to go to the stadium.
Mhm.
I don't believe he did.
He had to do it at least once.
I don't believe so.
I'm telling you, he had to do it.
I'm telling you,
Well,
I don't think that's true.
Well, that sucks for the other team to be like, damn, Will Ferrell picked them, not us.
Yeah.
That
There was
sucks.
like one of them where like Will Ferrell actually like almost got a hit off of one of them.
Oh, nice.
And there was another one where like they let him pitch and he like got a guy out. And I was like, if I was that dude and like that at bat was the difference between you making the roster and not, could you
Yeah.
imagine?
Yeah.
You
The
got
manager's like, dude, you got struck out by Will Ferrell.
yeah,
you're
he's
not on the
like
team.
your MLB dreams of making the roster dashed by fucking Buddy the Elf.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, also, if that happens to you, that should happen to you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Like, like we're normal people for a reason, and you're a baseball player for a reason. So you
yeah.
should.
There are honestly always some baseball players that I'm always like, these guys play professional baseball. Like guys who are like
Mhm.
fine enough fielders, but like bat 200 and like pick up maybe like 7 home runs in a season. I'm like, why
That's
is this
the
guy
weird
on the
thing
team?
about baseball is that like most of the teams don't matter at all,
Yeah, yeah. Most of the
and have
games don't
people that
even
you'll never
matter.
hear of because they don't matter.
Yeah. And really, yeah, realistically, maybe like 20 or 30 games matter in the season, like actually, while like the rest of them are just like most of them don't matter. It's 162 games, I think, a season. And
Yeah,
that's too much baseball. That's too much.
yeah. It
It is
makes
an
it
insane amount
very.
of baseball.
I've always thought that that makes it very very hard to get interested until like the very end of the season if you're even a
Yeah.
baseball fan. Like,
I
Mhm.
mean, that's how I feel about basketball as well.
yeah, I definitely, I think, yeah, even I think that's 82.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
that's
that's
too
it.
many. Um, like, like football's died down. I think, and it's because of it's for a good reason. I think if they could do more, they would.
Yeah.
I mean, they keep trying to do more. I think they're thinking about adding an 18th game.
I know,
Yeah.
but that's the thing is like they're debating for years over whether or not to add one game to their schedule. Like nobody would
Yeah.
give a nobody would. There's like fucking add a game to the MLB schedule. Like what
I
the fuck?
know.
Who cares?
They'd
It's
be like,
so
oh, we didn't
diluted.
even notice.
None of it matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They could probably add another game and people would be like, oh, like
They
why
tech
didn't you tell us? We didn't
they
notice.
technically
Yeah.
do sometimes add an extra game when there has to be a tiebreaker. They call it game 163.
Okay.
That's stupid.
Okay. So then it's like the play-in tournaments.
It is essentially a play-in tournament.
Mhm.
Hell yeah, those are sick.
Mhm.
Play-in
I love
tournament is
those are better than
stupid.
the first round of the playoffs. Honestly, I love watching like win or go home. Why do we do series so often in playoffs for every sport besides football? Like
I don't know. I always get
at
bored
least like
during a series.
3 game series. Like it doesn't. You should be able to prove your stuff in 2 games or 3 games or whatever. You know, like
Yeah.
and then it means way more to you, and you're gonna put it all out there. Like it's gonna be like the best game ever because everybody's trying their hardest.
I
Yeah.
agree. That's
Yeah.
why like Olympic basketball is so fun to watch.
Hmm. You don't get a second chance, and that's the annoying thing is like so many undeserving, or maybe for half of the series, are undeserving teams end up winning.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
or like you
like
have
Trump shouldn't have won that
those.
World Series.
They did.
Nah, I know. Fuck them.
Fair.
I think I'm just going scorched earth on baseball. Just fuck them.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I think if they do die, they will deserve it.
Yeah,
They
I mean
haven't
it'll be
adapted.
their own fault because yeah, they had a stranglehold on pop culture for almost like a century, if not
Yeah.
even more than
Yeah,
a century.
Mhm.
And yet they got overshadowed by not just one, but like 3 sports.
Yeah.
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 What's the last good baseball movie? Those used to be like the thing.
Moneyball, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Probably
Moneyball.
Moneyball.
Literally. Me and Jack saw that in the theaters together.
That's a
Yeah.
great movie.
It's so good. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Want to know what's completely ironic is Moneyball is like added to the death of baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Like it put it
But at
on
least
the
we got
track.
Moneyball out of it.
It put it on the track of analytics, and now everything's about like the underlying numbers of everything.
Yeah. Mhm.
Whereas like
Mhm.
before, you just go, "Oh, that guy hit the ball at least a quarter of the times. He hit 40 of the balls for home runs. That guy's good."
Yeah.
But now you
Oh
I
have
yeah.
to
think it
think about
really.
like slugging percentage and OPS plus and WAR and all this other
Yeah.
shit.
Mhm. I think it really had that effect on like all sports too, because like analytics in general has become way more prevalent in the last like 10 to 15 years in all sports. Like I
Yeah.
think that's I think that movie just like sort of made the point of like why wouldn't you be like gathering as much data as you can and factoring that into the equation? Like it
And
would make
also
sense
there's
to find trends and follow them.
yeah. And also
No, I agree.
there's like the
Especially, go ahead.
yeah, go AJ.
Well, I was just gonna say, especially in a thing like baseball, where you have just so much history that is like been so well documented, to where like it is so easy to follow the trends.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Like
Yeah,
in
exactly.
a newer sport or like a maybe less documented sport like football, it would have to be a newer thing
Mhm.
just because you also only have, at one point, like they were only like 12 game seasons, and then there was like 15, and then 16, and now 17.
Yeah.
Like, so
Yeah.
now the data is getting like more and more updated. So, like, you can see, like you can see pass block win rate, or you can see, like your catch percentage and like what your catch probability was on certain plays and all sorts of random stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas
Yeah.
like with
And
baseball, when they already had like, we weigh a triple different than we weigh a single. So like let's take the guys who hit more of the better hits and figure that out for their better stats and stuff like that.
mhm. Yeah. And I was
I
gonna.
went right from 12 to 16 actually. The AFL NFL merger happened after the creation of the Super Bowl, and they added 4 more games so that they could play 4 teams from the AFL, and same goes for the AFL and the NFL. So that's just a slight correction on behalf of AJ.
My
It's
inadvertent 15 game shout.
Yeah. It matters. That's the cool thing about football. It genuinely changes the percentages. One extra game genuinely changes like a lot of the math of like how you go about your season.
yeah.
I mean,
And
it's
I
the
was
same
gonna.
with like the one extra playoff team.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jack. We apologize for
Yeah, okay.
cutting you
Yes.
off.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was gonna say with the analytics that like I don't even think it's like one decision that a dude made that like just ruined everything. Like I think literally every industry on earth uses analytics now. It's just what it is. We got computers,
Yeah,
we
Yeah.
can take all the numbers, feed it in, and it just spits out results. And yeah, so I think that it is just a very like it's just like what it is now. And like for better or for worse, it's just kind of how things are done, like everywhere.
Yeah. I saw a thing that Tesla's close to making robo taxis.
Oh, really? Oh, man.
Then we're fucked.
Yeah.
Well,
That's,
I mean, certain jobs will still matter,
Mhm.
but
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I don't
know.
see
I'll
a
just really
robot
have
doing
to.
my job.
Yeah,
do you
I
want to keep
know.
doing your job forever?
No, robots could do my job. I just don't see the person inventing a robot to do my job.
Yeah. I'm fine with robots doing my job as long as I'm still making the money.
Yeah.
And then I'm fine with
There are,
Yeah.
there are plenty of computer programs that do my job pretty effectively.
it. Yeah, yeah,
I use a lot of computer programs to help me be way better at my job.
yeah. See, that's why I want to
So,
get into writing, which will never be replaced by AI.
oh sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh sure.
effective of the last writer's strike.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, what were they striking about? I don't know.
We're fucked. We're so
Yeah.
fucked as a
Oh,
society.
oh yeah.
Um
The Skynet
at
is
least
coming.
at least at least they still need babysitters, and I am technically that too.
True. So they figure out that robot babysitter.
Yeah.
Isn't
Yeah.
that what? There's like a new AI home horror movie coming out about something like that.
Uh, an AI babysitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of, where it's like the AI like helps
Yeah,
take
what
care
kind
of
of
the
film is
kids and
this?
shit. It's a horror movie.
Oh,
It's
okay.
that already exists. Isn't it called like Smart House or something? That Disney movie is fucking awesome. You guys never seen that movie?
But Smart House?
Smart House or something house? It's a Disney Channel movie, and it was like it was literally like a sentient house that like
Monster House.
Yeah, that's Monster
Isn't that it?
no,
House.
Yes.
no, but that's not what
Dude.
I'm thinking of.
Oh,
Let me look it
okay.
up. Let me look it up. I know Monster House. Dan Harmon wrote Monster House.
Did he? Oh, I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
it's his first like big thing.
Oh,
hmm
interesting. I didn't know that. Oh.
Uh, Smart House Diz. Oh yeah, I'm so right. 1999 film, Disney movie. You can watch it with your Disney Plus subscription right now. Everybody go and watch it.
All right.
No, don't. It's not good.
Okay.
But yeah, it
Maybe.
is that movie and 25 years ago. So
Hmm.
up yours, whatever that other movie is.
Yeah, Monster House.
No, not Monster House.
I want to talk about Monster House.
The AI ones. I like Monster House.
I like Monster House too. I remember
Yeah.
my sister watching it as a kid, and it's like still the most terrifying movie she's ever watched, I believe. And I remember that I got her a DVD of it for Christmas one year when she was like 18 or 19, and she still hasn't opened it. She's still
Oh
like,
my God.
no, I will never watch that again.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's another movie that, like, as a kid, it really did freak me out. But like,
Oh yeah,
I watched it again because it was Dan Harmon, and it's good.
yeah. All right. I honestly, I might head out. I'm getting pretty tired.
Yeah, no, I gotta do stuff.
All right.
All right.
Wait,
Well,
but real quick, any other last thoughts on Hard Knocks?
It's funny that Simone Biles got a lot of shit for wearing her Jonathan
Yeah,
Owens
the
wearing
Packer
that green
Patch thing is
sweater.
funny.
I
Patch
love
thing
how
is funny.
even her friend was like, you should take that off.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that's
Yeah.
Are you really wearing that?
Yeah.
DJ Moore, not really super in that one.
I mean, Lil Durk was
I'm
there.
interested. I'm interested to see what they do next week in terms of like roster cuts and the
Yeah.
new additions and
Yeah.
I mean,
They're
Caleb
gonna cut
doesn't
the
play or anything. I
Canadian
bet
Eagle.
he'll take a back seat actually this episode, maybe a little bit.
yeah, I can see that.
Because he'll probably be
Oh,
a big part of like the hope and everything, the last one. Like he'll probably be
Yeah.
a big part of that. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, and they're definitely the two people who I can foresee being cut is the Canadian Eagle and that third string quarterback.
The Reed, the blonde
he
guy.
wasn't on there.
Yeah.
Oh,
He was. I gotta let me real quick. I took a screenshot of all the cuts. Let me
because
look
I
at
don't
that.
think you need four quarterbacks. Because they got Bajan, they got Ripien, and then that Austin Reed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and Reed's like 5K.
they didn't try to quarterback.
Oh,
This is not. Is this final rosters?
It should be coming up soon because isn't the season start this
I
Thursday?
thought it was like the last week of the preseason is normally, which we have another week.
Oh, do we have another week?
We just don't have another game. They got rid of the fourth preseason game.
So then the roster cuts are probably due by like next Wednesday.
Yeah. So Bayless can still go.
okay.
All right, fingers crossed.
Yes.
No, I liked it. I liked the ferret story. That was funny.
Yeah, that was funny. Who was his roommate? He mentioned.
Michael Pittman.
Yes, Michael Pittman.
hmm
Yeah. No, that is funny. Ferrets like smell though. I don't really like
Yeah,
a ferret in my space, but I'll
sure.
watch one.
For sure. Get a hamster. They're cool, and they don't. If you use wood bedding, they don't smell.
Oh, nice.
I don't have one right now, but I had one in college, and she was awesome.
Oh, hell
A Syrian. Don't get the teddy bear hamsters are like too small.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I took that bitch to the vet,
Ooh, nice.
Committed.
and she died in a year and a half.
Oh,
Oh,
well, that
Yeah.
sucks. Yeah.
Oh well.
I
All
remember
right.
my
sorry.
sister's bunny died on Christmas.
Oh,
That's a bad memory. Yeah.
that sucks.
Yeah, but it's all right. She's doing fine. She's got a job.
Is she? She can't watch Monster House.
true.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah. I gotta talk to her about that.
She has some unresolved issues.
She does. Yeah. She hasn't fully processed Monster House yet. Still scared of it. All right. Well, I'll see you guys.
Yeah. We can wrap it up.
All right.
All right.
Salute. Good night, everybody.
Bye bye. This has been Robot
Rampage.
Rampage. Bye guys.
All right.
Bye.
See ya.